Yes, you lovely people, if you're not already, make sure you give us a follow over on Spotify.
You've been at Chelsea, you've been at Newcastle, you've been at Watford, and now you're doing the One Glove. Can we just talk about these and then we can go?
Hello everybody, I'm Ben Foster. Welcome to another episode of the Fozcast. Now, today's episode is another goalie related episode. We have got the main man, Rob Elliot, on the Fozcast this week. Rob, how are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Good. Thank you for coming, mate. Give me that. Tomasi, you all good?
Very good, mate.
Nice
Very
to.
good.
We've been here for about 5 hours already, haven't we? And can I just say, I asked Rob to come on the podcast this week. We are in the middle of the winter break, by the way. I asked him to come on the podcast, and he was like, "Why do you want me to come on the podcast? Like, what am I going to possibly talk about?" Which I completely disagree, because you're the man, and you can talk for England. You can talk for England, can't you? No, you can. You're amazing. You're incredible.
Talk for Ireland.
Talk for Ireland.
Talk for Ireland. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Talk for Ireland. And you've got interesting stories to tell. Okay. So obviously the way you got into football, we'll talk about it in a minute. Your whole sort of career path at Newcastle, Charlton, all that kind of stuff. Playing for your country. And now an entrepreneur. He's an entrepreneur, guys. He's a clever guy, honestly. But we'll touch on it in a bit anyway. But first of all, tell me about your journey into football. How did it get started for you?
Ben, can I just interrupt there? Because we've had a little bit of a hiatus with this question, and we normally ask the question of what 3 people would you most like to go for a night out with on the last week?
We've had a proper hiatus.
Yes,
Why have we not done this recently?
I want to hear this.
Why have you not? You're not teaming up for this either.
No,
Yeah,
that's the beauty of it, though. I think it's better if you ask people and they're put on the spot, because then they don't have time to really think about it, and it's like the first people that pop into your head. So the 3 people that you would rather go, you would love to go out on the
drinking with.
Could be dead, alive, whatever, and you're going out on a session, whatever your session is.
I've heard your good value on a night out.
I thought he was going to say a good drinker then. He's not bad, to be fair. He's a strong drinker.
Good value on a night out.
We've had some fun, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. He's a solid drinker, He's a solid drinker.
That's a good question.
High praise.
I'd have to go with Will Ferrell. I know I have to, because he's just you don't know what he's like in real life, but he just looks like an absolute legend.
He's got
and
to
literally
be a
I've grown up on his films, so most of like 80% of my banter is Will Ferrell films.
Yeah.
So like if no one gets that banter, I'm just like, oh, all right, mate.
No point.
Yeah, I was like, no point away as well.
Yeah,
he can stick it away.
100% he can.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
He's a legend. Will Ferrell. I'd want to go out with one of the old school footballers, the proper 80s footballers. Yeah. Like, I don't know I think Gazza's too much.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
He's a liability. He'll get in trouble.
He is, yeah.
He'll get
absolute
in trouble.
Legend, but I just don't. Yeah, someone's getting arrested. Maybe. Do you know what? I'd go Tony Adams, Yeah,
nice,
I know, like, obviously I don't want to, I know he's obviously saying his name, but I just think like Ray Parlour, actually. I'll go Ray Parlour.
Boom. That's a nice one.
He told that unbelievable story, didn't he, about the Wenger with the FA Cup?
Yeah.
Have you heard that one about them not having a drink and he was steaming all week? So yeah, I'd go out with him.
I totally agree.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
And obviously I think I was built for that era. I think like this era is not for me, football. Like, I love it and I'm great, but actually I was designed for being in the 80s where you could just do what you wanted.
No camera phones, no Twitter, no Instagram. But it's like,
what are you doing Friday night before the game? I'm going to have a beer, or I'm going to go do this, or I'm going to go and play cricket, or whatever it is. Like, cool. See you at the game tomorrow.
Sweet.
Cheers, Gaffer.
Yeah, I'm going to be ready for the game. Yeah.
Gaffer's like, he's professional. He's only playing golf. Like,
Who's your third?
Who would be my third for a night out? That's a good one.
It's a good start, though.
I want someone who can dance. I think I love I love dancing.
Yeah, you do love a dance. That's what I'm saying. He's a good on a night out. Yeah. He's a solid drinker. He loves dancing. Like he's as brutal at that. He's like me. Like he can't move. Actually, you're better than me. To be fair.
I move my feet. To be fair,
yeah, you move your feet. Yeah,
Craig every day with Fozzie. I don't know if I do it or not, but it's just like, why Fozzie? Why are you not moving your feet? Hands top half is world class. It's the bottom half. Strictly, I think Strictly is what you need.
Yeah, what Fozzie does is the when he's dancing, he does the boxer speedball, doesn't he? Where he just goes like that.
All sorts. I don't care, mate. I'm all shoulders, aren't I?
Exactly.
So number 3,
people can't
number
dance.
three. I'm trying to think
who's a good dancer?
It's a good dancer.
We'll come back to that one.
We'll come back to that one. I'll have a think. See if someone pops up. I'm sure.
Here's another question. So we had the podcast last week with Tubes, and I asked Ben the question. Have you ever gone at it hard in the players' lounge after a game?
Yeah, do you know what? A couple of times. So when I went to at Newcastle, we had boxes like for the families, like you had your own individual ones. I had the kids and that, so they're all young, so I got one.
Did they give you them, the boxes?
No, you have to pay for them. Yeah, we got a good, to be fair, they're really good. They really good discount and stuff, and like you just feel like a dick saying it, didn't you? So did I say that?
No, it's nice. But it's nice for the family though, when you know your family
amazing,
getting looked after and they're in a safe place.
Like with the missus, like you've got like at one point we had like 3 under 4. So like it's trying to I'm just sitting in the stands, and obviously not Geordie's, like they're absolutely mental. So but towards the end, obviously last year and a half or so, I didn't play. So sometimes it'd be like the lads are coming up, so I just get there at I used to get the game about 1:30, finish training on the Saturday, go to the game, watch the lads, and it'd be like, do you want a beer? It's like, yeah, go on then.
That's the dream.
Go on then. And it's like, it'd be nice. Like most of the time I wouldn't drink and that, but then when the boys come up, if it's a special occasion, and next thing you know, the game's finished at 6, and you're like, we going out? Yeah. How do we get on? I don't know. I don't know. We won. Brilliant.
That's like doing corporate, but you're a player and you're allowed to, and a fan, and you just want to go and get on it and have a nice time.
You're just literally walking out, and then you find yourself just going, oh yeah, I mean, like, what a night out. Well, it's a great place anyway. I'm sure we'll talk about it, but yeah, it ticks all the boxes. But no, when you're sitting at the game in the atmosphere and you're having a few beers with the lads, it's great. And there's nothing better, is it? It's just, you just take, because the thing is, if you can't play, then you might as well take in the atmosphere and enjoy it. Don't sulk and be a little
bloody
bitch.
Right as well.
Oh, I'm not playing all this. It's not fair. Like we've all done it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say it, and I've never sulked in my life. But towards the end, as you get older, you just think, well, I'm just going to try and enjoy the occasion, because like one day I might be sitting in a hotel and I might be sitting on the bench not playing, or I might be playing and having a bad time or whatnot.
Just make the most of it.
Exactly,
mate. I'm with you. Okay, I love that. It's a great start to the pod. I told you it's going to be a banging episode. Okay, talk to me about your journey into football, because you told me your journey into football, and like mine's a bit of an upside down one, you know, late starter or late bloomer, all that kind of stuff. Yours is not a million miles away from mine. It's similar,
yeah. I know yours. I know obviously you spoke about yours, but so I played on pitch all through school and everything. Never really played in goal. Outfield, yeah. And sort of got to about...
What position?
I started as a left winger.
Lovely left foot, mate. You've got a lovely left foot.
Yeah, nice left foot. No coordination whatsoever. Like literally, I used to fall over myself and everything. But then, so when we was under 14s, we played for like the local teams. Then we went, I don't know if you do it wherever you play footy, but you get associated or affiliated with like a non-league team. Yeah. So we got affiliated with Chatham Town, sorry. And I played sort of through the middle. I used to play centre half up front because I was a big, strong lad, and I was getting decent to people. I wasn't bad on pitch. I was getting decent, not great, but okay. And then one day our keeper didn't turn up, so I went in goal. Absolutely loved it. Just thought, what is this? Why haven't I been in this the whole time? Like I used to play in 5-a-sides and that, but I thought this is amazing. So then that was it. I just wanted to play in goal, but our goalie was really good. Bomber Craig Seward. He was absolutely wicked. He was, and so I was never going to play. So then my mate Graham Arley at school was like, oh, we need a keeper at Sittingbourne. We've got one goalie, blah, blah, blah. Come down. Went down and trained. Absolutely loved it. Did all right.
How old are we here now?
I was nearly 15.
Yeah.
So then the manager was like, oh, do you want to come and play? I was like, yeah. So I had to go and tell.
So before that, you'd never played in goal?
Not really, no. Like literally I'd done.
Just messing about with your mates. It might be your turn.
The usual stuff. The usual stuff you do, like goal, like 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So like headers and volleys, 60 seconds, rush goalie.
Scorpio, got Scorpion goalie.
But you must have been one of the, because you see the kids that do it, and my lad's playing, there's that kid that does it. You must have been one of these that just go and go and you just start launching yourself around like a nutcase.
That's literally it, yeah. Like I was an absolute
lunatic.
I was a lunatic as a kid. I just could never sit still. I was always throwing myself around. All
ADHD for sure.
Basically, yeah. And then I went in goal and loved it. Like it's like great. I just get to throw myself at things and like brilliant. And like obviously I was always a bit mental, so you get to throw yourself at people as well, which is always good. And then so I started playing for Sittingbourne, left the other team, went to play for Sittingbourne. Everyone was like, "What are you doing?" And then started. To be fair, what's mad, right? And I've got to give him a shout out if you don't mind. Paul Munger, his lad Chris, absolute legend as well. Played in goal, and like I was doing really well, so he actually played me ahead of his own. No, his son
Fishmonger.
You done me. Wow. I didn't even tee you up for that. This is what you put up with every week.
I don't even think he got that. That was world class.
He done me as well. And then he kept going. And then so he actually kept me in goal and like played me ahead of Chris, which is just like fair play. Do you know what I mean? And helped me a lot and stuff. And so then just started playing for them. We all got bumped up. So I was playing I was like just 15 under 16s, but then we was playing under 18s because the team was quite good. So then I don't think they had an 18s. And then do you remember Mark Beanie, the goalie?
Yeah.
Leeds and
Newcastle.
I don't know if he was there actually. He
Mark
might have
Beanie,
been.
I'm sure he played for Newcastle.
He was definitely at Leeds for a long time. I know he's a bit of a legend at Leeds, and you can check. But he was the first team manager at Sittingbourne, which is like a semi-pro club, and he got me training with the first team and stuff, and helping me and like just getting some sort of coaching. And And then I was like, I got picked up by Gillingham on trial because that's the local club where I played for. And they took me on.
He didn't play for Newcastle.
I didn't. Sorry. maybe soon. But
Definitely Leeds.
Yeah. No, I know he's Leeds legend. But yeah, so I went to Gillingham. I was awful, right? So I went to Gillingham. I was absolutely horrendous. I think I played about 4 games for them. I conceded about 85 goals.
What, on trial?
On trial, yeah. Like to the point where the manager looked so disappointed once when I turned up that he obviously didn't know I was playing. And he was just like, ugh. And then literally I played a goal and I let another 6 in.
How old again? 16?
I was 15, 16, so year 11.
Yeah.
But like I felt like I could improve and I could, do you know what I mean? Do you know when you just feel like it feels right? Anyway, but I found out later they thought I was older. They thought I was like 18 because I was playing for their 19s. So I went home and it was like the February half term before in the end year 11. So before you'd start a scholar. And I just said to my mum, I really want to do this. She was like, well, just write off to clubs because I didn't have a clue what you're supposed to do. Do you know what I mean? And
imagine
I wrote
that nowadays, writing off to clubs.
Yeah. Just
can I come for a trial, basically?
Basically, I sat on the computer, like tapping away, sent them all off, and I got a call back the next day from Cholton, my boyhood club.
So what would that letter look like, by the way?
It literally was hi.
I'm really good in goal.
I'm really good in goal. No, but it's like so basically. I can't remember what someone gave me some advice. It was like, just tell them who you play for, your age, your height, and everything. Yeah. And I basically did this. I said
your attributes, what you're good at. I'm good at this, good at that.
Yeah, I'm 15, so I think I'm good at everything. Yeah. So that probably went down well. I've lied through my teeth on the CV.
Left foot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wonderful right foot.
Can definitely come for crosses. Don't concede many goals. I promise. Wow. Don't Google it. I don't think Google's around there.
If you need me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, can play through the middle. And then so I wrote off, and then the guy at Cholton called me. He was like, can you come in? I was like, what? And I said, do you think it's a joke or something?
Yeah.
So it turned out that they just needed a goalkeeper. They had no goalies for an under 17s game or something. So I went in, and then the absolute legend for me, Lee Smelt, academy goalie coach, saw me, played against West Ham, I think it was, did okay. Probably okay for me. I was probably horrendous for them. And Smelty saw something in me and made them keep me.
Wow.
So I kept going back for trials, and in the end they offered me like what was a part-time contract. So basically they just wanted me to play on a Saturday, and I was going to go to college. So what I did is I did found a college in Gravesend that would let me do a English and PE A level in one day. And then I trained with Cholton the whole time on my own. Like wow. I think I got like 60 quid expenses for the week, so it barely covered my train fare. I was nearly in so much trouble for bunking trains. Honestly, I was the best you've ever seen. I could have been a hurdler at one point. You know the carriers. You just wait for enough people to go past, and then you have to time it, and you just literally leapfrog and sprint out. But I getting caught. So like, Mum was like, "You can't keep doing this because you're going to get caught." And like the letters were getting like really serious. So then Mark Beanie found out that I played against Chelsea, and Beanie was Mark was the under 18s coach at the time, and he was like chatting to me. I was like, I've not signed. He's like, you're not signed. So he took me to Chelsea. He was like, come on trial at Chelsea. So I imagine being at Cholton.
You went on loan to you went on trial at Chelsea.
Right? So imagine
I didn't even know this.
No. So imagine being like at Cholton for 2 months, thinking, how lucky am I to be here? And this is when Chelsea just got taken over, 2002. So
oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so it was right in the middle of it, and then I've literally had to go and knock on the manager's door. He was like Mick Brown and Mark Robson. I was like, oh, I'm going to Chelsea on trial. I was like, what? I was like, well, they want me to go in, and obviously I've not signed anything here.
I've got to try it.
And they're like, no, you can't. Blah, blah. I was like, well, I've got to. So
they put a contract in front of you, did they?
No, they didn't. I was like, so I can't be that. I was like, oh, that's not good. I couldn't even use it as a bit of negotiation. Off you go.
All right, sweet.
We'll drive you. It's fine. So I went there for like 2-3 days, and they had a lad called Lenny Pidgley there.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable. Like at his age, he's like a man. And and Beanie said to us, he was like, look, we've got Lenny. There's not space, but we really like you, so we'll keep monitoring you. Like just if you stay at Cholton. So I went back to Cholton, and because of that, I also got called up for Ireland under 17s just on the circuit, and then it all happened at the same time.
It's a bit of a whirlwind then, yeah?
It's mad, mate. So like, in the February, I didn't even know what I wanted to do for my GCSEs, for my A-levels, and then like in the October,
you're on trial at Chelsea.
Yeah, I'm on trial at Chelsea. I've been called up for Ireland, and then like the Cholton have offered me like a scholarship.
So it was a scholarship at this point then.
So then they offered me the scholarship in October, which is like, I don't know, you're 80 quid a week. Clean the boots.
That feeds through to about 19, yeah?
It was 2 years and then 18. So then I signed that, and then that was how it went. And then I went on from there. But I was horrendous, by the way. I've got to say this, yeah. I was one of the worst goalkeepers you see at academy level because I didn't know anything. I don't know how it went for yourself. But do you know when the coach was telling me stuff, I didn't even have fathom of like couldn't even fathom what he was talking. So that was probably the best sort of like. I wonder if that's why I did well, because if you tell Rob to do that, he'll do it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have any reference.
It was like I guess it was like knowledge of the position that you didn't have a clue on.
I didn't. So all I had played on was instinct and just understanding of like just how I felt.
Stopping the ball going in the back of the net.
So I could stop the ball going in the back of the net really well, right? That was my strength. A shot stopping and. Shot stopping. I don't think there's anything else.
Yeah, well, hey, listen,
I could kick it, to be fair. I could kick it.
That's the aim of the game, though, isn't it?
Yeah, keep the ball out of the net. It's literally, isn't it?
You say that all the time. Yeah. Keep the ball out the net.
What do you always say? Just save it.
Just save it. There's a lot to be said for that, you know. And I think this
Goalkeeper.
Honestly, the thing that I think's missing nowadays with a lot of like these modern footballers that are lovely with the ball at the feet and all that kind of stuff is it's the nous to be able to stop the ball going in the back of the net, isn't it? Reading situations. Being a fielder goalkeeper, somebody who will help their teammates.
Tell everyone what does that mean. What does that mean, being a fielder goalkeeper?
A fielder goalkeeper, me and Rob have had this conversation before, which I think is such a vital part of a modern goalkeeper, or any goalkeeper really, is that you need to be basically on the edge of your box all the time, fielding absolutely everything. So the ball might be at the right back, he might be under pressure, you are shouting to him, give it to me, and so he knows that he hasn't even got to look to see where you are. He can hear you, he knows where you are on the pitch, he'll just give you the ball back. It helps the team out like you wouldn't believe. You can shift it over to the left hand side. It's about just giving options to players. Some goalies don't like to do it though. Say it's out on the right hand side and I'm left footed, I might not want the ball back on my right side. So some goalies will just almost keep it safe, play it safe, and they'll stay in the middle of their 18-yard box so they can't receive the ball. Do you know what I mean? But that puts pressure on the right back. He might kick it out for a throw-in, 40 yards from goal. They're on the attack again then. That's being a fielding goalie. Somebody who's always out there to help.
Is that when more mistakes are made, potentially?
From who?
From the goalkeeper.
Yeah. And that's why. But that's good though, because the loan system. Like I was getting into the proper goalkeeping chat, but that's why you want kids to go out on loan, so they learn all that then, and they can make mistakes with all due respect at levels that aren't going to cost millions or at the top end. So they can learn all that, and actually they can learn to be brave and accept that you kick the ball out of play, or you shank the ball out of play. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like do you know what I mean? Like but you don't know that 18 years old. Do you know what I mean? And that's why like you expose the kids to it, and I think like you said there, like you just want to be in a position where you're seeing what's going on before. Like physically, like I've never ever been physically like I've never had the capacity of like Fozzie or the some of the lads. They're
Athletes
just so
now,
powerful and quick. It's incredible. I've never had that, so I've almost had to like put myself in a position where I can negate an extra yard of speed, so I can actually say, right, well, I know I can't get there as quick as someone else, so I have to sort of maneuver myself. Yeah, exactly. You have to maneuver yourself. Do you know what I mean? And then like you get to 35 and then you're like, actually, I can't get there. I'm just going to stay there. I'm just going to stay here.
Reflexes are gone.
Away.
Here's a question for you, because I was watching clips the other day. It was a goalkeeping documentary, and Neville Southall came up. Where did he sit on that? Was he athletic or was he?
He was athletic.
He was athletic.
Was he?
Yeah, he was
incredible. He was a cat. He wasn't the tallest of goalies, but he was an absolute cat. Like I know Alex Chamberlain really well, who was at Everton with Neville Southall for a bit, and he said, Ben, honestly, like I can't describe to you how good this guy was.
He was like massively underrated.
I don't think he was underrated because everybody knew.
I think at the time, didn't he win like European
he did, yeah, something like that.
He won an incredible like.
But everybody knew what he was like. Like Al Chamberlain used to say, like he was born in the proper era, by the way, Neville Southall, because he said like literally on, you know, like on a Saturday morning sometimes you might go for a walk or whatever. He said Neville would sometimes ring me on a Saturday morning and go, do you want to go over to the park and we'll like just like chuck a few balls about and stuff like that. And he said we'll be doing training sessions in the morning, not
Saturday
hard
morning of a game.
Yeah, not hard or anything. He said we would just be like dicking about and stuff like that, and he was just wicked. He said he was an absolute cat. That's so good. Isn't it?
I remember he started doing warm-ups an hour and a half before games.
Yeah, an hour.
Remember, like he used to just get out. They used to get when they turned up. He said, "I'm just going to go on the pitch."
Yeah. He did. I don't think he liked the football side of being a footballer, like the actual, like the lads and the banter, and like because some lads are dickheads, aren't they? Some lads are big time, I don't think he liked that side of it. He liked to just be outside. Like he might go out with the goalies, who are probably normally like most goalies are the same sort of people, aren't they?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Like you can identify a goalie straight away if he's not a goalie.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
It's
like
true.
In the group, it's all similar. Like you all know the job, you know the role, but you have to be the same. Don't you? It's
true,
so unique. It's such a unique thing.
It's very true. Like in a room of 25, 26 blokes, the goalies will normally sit together not because we have to, because we're goalies or whatever, but we'll all be the same temperament.
You know what?
We will.
I've noticed this. I've been mates with Fozzie for a long time and whatnot. I've noticed that goalkeepers, any goalkeeper, when I've met them, no exceptions, are the most normal type of guys there are.
Yeah, it's true.
On a football pitch.
It's
you know
weird,
what it's like? You meet footballers, and you are a footballer, so you don't know this kind of as I would. But you meet football and you kind of go, oh yeah, okay. But the goalkeepers are the most relatable to me as a normal guy.
Just a normal bloke, yeah.
But I think, like you're saying there, it makes sense to me. Like I've stopped calling myself a footballer now. So what do you do? I'm a goalkeeper. I'm trying to get out of saying I'm a footballer, and that's no disrespect to the football lads, like or the outfield lads, but because like 90% of the lads who, if you brought home or brought here to meet everyone, they're just lovely lads, families and all that sort of stuff. There is the 10% dickheads who just cause chaos for everyone, and they give us a name that everyone goes, typical footballer, he's out doing X, Y, Z, and you're like, what do you think you do on a Saturday night? Like, I'm not out doing some of the things we've seen, which are pretty horrendous. Like, I'm just literally putting the kids to bed or getting shouted at for being lazy or whatever it might be. You know what I mean? Like, as the usual stuff. Or, you're going to the pub again for a couple of pints with the lads. Like, well,
that's just what normal people do.
That's just what normal lads do. Do you know what I mean? And
we want to do the same sort of thing. The problem is, like, when at Premier League level and stuff like that, you can't just go for a pint. Like, if you go to a pub and we're having a pint, somebody will try and take a sneaky picture of you, and you just want to have a pint in the pub. There's nothing better, is there?
Yeah.
We've done it a few times recently where we've literally just gone, should we just go to the pub for a pint? It's like, oh my God, this is incredible.
You're a pretty chilled out guy, very, very chilled out guy, right? And it's seldom you will get irate, but the one thing that really pisses you off is when we're out and when people try and take a sneaky picture, just for a sneaky video. That really bugs you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's horrible though, isn't it? It is. It's really. We had a funny thing. We were out here a few weeks ago, and we were literally doing the same thing, having a few pints. We were literally just chilling, like we'd played the game or whatever, and we'd be having a few pints. And there was these couple of kids on the table next to us, and they were just dickheads, like literally, like. Taking photos sneakily, but then also they were starting like chants against
singing songs about
Watford
and all that sort of stuff. And you're just thinking, but it's so cringy because you're just sitting here. There's about 4 of us, weren't there? Just like from the game. I think it was like 10 o'clock. We weren't even out. We was having dinner, and it was like. And you're just thinking, what are you doing?
Oh no!
Honestly,
at one point, he had to have a look at him. He had a little. He had enough.
I just literally said to him, like, lads, like. I can't remember what I said exactly. I just said to the lads, literally, just chill out or fuck.
Where are those bruises from and your knuckles from?
No, it's true though. He went, lads, like, listen, like we're just having dinner, yeah. We're just not being. Please, just like
basically, just say, look, come over and have a chat.
You know what?
That's exactly what I said. Just come over and chat.
He went, come over and have a chat, or please don't sit there and sing songs and look at us. And they got up to try and sit down, and I went, no, no.
He was like, no. I wish I could have pictured that face. Just coming like, no, go away.
They were gone though. They were absolutely pissed out.
They were wasted.
Yeah, they were wasted. Yeah.
Wow.
We went completely off topic, by the way. That was lovely. Anyway, so Charlton. So we were at Charlton. We've just signed for Charlton. You told me a story that your dad was a massive Charlton fan, yeah? He was a huge Charlton fan, and you one thing I remember you saying to me was because he was such a big Charlton fan, he would go to away games, home games, and he knew like the firm, basically the crew, So he was big in the Charlton sort of fan base kind of thing. And Rob's one thing he said to me, which I actually like, I thought, wow, actually it's true. He said playing for Charlton was actually harder than playing for Newcastle, which sounds incredible, doesn't it? It sounds absolutely incredible, but if you think about it, it makes sense though, doesn't it? Like when you've got the family stuff, like really does, like puts pressure on like nothing else, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like my whole family were Charlton fans, so both my mum's side and my dad's side, obviously when they met. So my dad was.
So how long were you at Charlton for in total?
So I was there from 16 to 25.
Nine
9 years. But obviously,
years,
when I say I was a season told, I was a proper like junior red. This is really sad, right?
So you were like full into it.
Yeah, like literally like. What team you support, right? If you're a proper supporter of your club, whatever it is, it means as much to you. So I always say to him, supporting Charlton meant as much to me as what it means for a Geordie to support Newcastle or a United fan to support United. There's no comparison. Yeah, unfortunately, like my team was never going to win anything. You know, I'm never going to see Charlton win something, probably. But
can I say the first thing he does when he gets on the coast? What was Charlton score? He does. He'll say, what's the Charlton score? And then he'll say, what's the Newcastle score?
Newcastle, then Gateshead.
That's what he does. Honestly,
I've got a little list and I just go through
every time.
But you do once you have an infinity. You just do it, don't you?
I do it. I genuinely do it. Like as a football fan, because me and Fozzie have been mates for so long. I look at Watford. I look at Blues.
West Brom.
I look at West Brom. They're always the ones I go to straight away.
My mates are the same. My mates still follow them just because of the fact. Yeah. You have an affinity. It's like anything though, don't you? You have an affinity with someone. Like lads who I know play cricket, I'll just follow like all the cricket scores. Like checking county cricket scores on a Thursday afternoon. So I always scored some runs. That's nice, isn't it? It's nice, isn't it? Because you feel a connection. But what we say? Oh yeah, Charlton. So no, it was because I'd watched these so imagine like when I turned up at 16, I've turned up at 16, I literally was sitting in the stands watching them when that February playing in the Premier League. A few months earlier. In the Premier League. And then next thing, because at the time the building, everyone was in the same building. Like it's an old old listed building.
You mean senior players, academy players, reserve players,
all in
everything,
the same thing.
all in the same building.
And like Charlton's always been a small club. Even when they were in the Premier League, we were a small club.
Yeah.
Like that's how we operated. It's how we were successful. But then, so I was walking past, and I remember I was like walking past Chris Powell, Mark Kinsella, like
Matty Holland, was he there?
Matty Holland. I don't think Matty come a bit later, but like when I was there. But like so players that who else is there? Like Richard Rufus, Dean Kiley, Mark Fish.
Who's the lad at front? Pringle, was he there?
Martin Pringle. That's good knowledge, isn't it?
Well done.
That's very good. Martin Pringle, Andy Hunt. I think Hunt.
Andy
Clive
Hunt.
Mendonca,
Jason
John
Yule, was he
Robinson.
Jason Yule.
I think he might have been there, or he just I think he might have been there before I was there.
Players.
And he's a legend, by the way. What a guy! I mean, like all the guys are legends.
Kirkic or something like that. No, Mendonca.
You're thinking of Kishishev.
Kishishev. That's what I think.
Mendonca. What a finisher he was. But,
yeah, he was.
Imagine like being a kid and then walking in and seeing these. I was so starstruck, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
And actually, I think it hindered me for the first couple of years. I was literally like
in awe all the time.
In awe of it all,
the time.
In awe of it. And all my family and all my friends were at all the games, and they all supported Charlton. They all wanted to know what's going on. And we was in the Premier League, so Charlton at the time was massively overachieving. Like Alan Kirbishley, like a legend of the club, like keeping you obviously would have played against them. They were always a tough team to play against. And I think I struggled with it because I was just literally walking around with these legends, but it was wicked. And then, do you know what it was? When I started playing, I remember like really sad. I remember like looking at the badge thinking, I remember it's this day when I've made my debut, I was like looking at myself thinking like, I'm in a Charlton kit, I'm about to play at the Valley.
Yeah.
It's like, that's it. Why don't I have to worry anymore? I've done it. Yeah, I've done it. No matter how it goes, I can say I've done it. And to be fair, there's a few ups and downs along the way, but obviously eventually like what helped in time in looking back is obviously the club really struggled financially. So as we were on the way down the Championship and that, because I was a decent young GK and like big Nicky Weaver, an absolute legend, like the club were like, well, we're going to put the young lad in because we're probably getting relegated anyway, and obviously got my opportunity there. But no, it's amazing. Like it's just one of the best things ever to play for. I feel so like we talk about obviously, but like playing for Charlton, then moving to a club like Newcastle, like it's like with clubs with genuine connection, because you can't not play for Newcastle without feeling connection. And then obviously playing for my boyhood club, I think it helped me. I think it made me from probably an average goalkeeper in terms of your markings to being able to perform in games under pressure because you felt like you knew how much it meant to people. Yeah. So I knew as a fan how much it meant to play for Charlton. So when you go to a club like Newcastle, the most passionate fans, I understood what it meant.
What it meant.
What they meant. Do you know what I mean? So and I think that's why they don't hate me, because I think probably they understood that I understood that. If that makes any sense.
So when you were at Charlton then, so with your dad being a fan and you made your debut 2008?
Yeah, it would have been.
So 2008, and what league are you in at this point?
So we were in the Championship, and it was a mad one. So Alan Pardew is the manager, and he hated me, right? He hated me at the start because, like, I mean, I'm just not his type of goalie, which is fair enough. But Andy Woodman's the goalie coach, just mad character. Like, what a guy! Helped me so much for my career. Took me to Newcastle, and we was training once, and I went to see Pards, and he called me into his office and he basically said to me, he was like, oh, do you know what it is? I think you're doing okay. He said, but your life's way too easy. He said, you look like you go home, you got your mum making your tea, and it's just too easy. You don't have enough. You don't want it enough. And obviously, I didn't want to say anything back to him. I was only like 19 at the time, but like it nearly cut me up because I literally was like paying for the mortgage with my mum. It was just me and my mum on our own. I was like with my little sister, so we can move out of where we live because it wasn't the best area. We didn't want my sister to go to school there. I was almost like my car had broken down, so I was bunking the train again.
So he didn't know that.
He didn't know this, no, because I'm not going to walk around saying, you know what I mean?
Course,
it's not like
no, but you'd think that before you fire into somebody,
I think he was. I understood what he's trying to do now. I think he was trying to say to me, "Come on, like I need to see a bit more from you," in terms of why I need it to look like it means a bit more. Because I'm too nice sometimes. That's like sometimes goes against you. And then I nearly broke down pretty much. Told Woody about it. I was like, "Fucking hell, Woody! Like Jesus Christ, you know what I'm going through to do all this." And he thinks that. And Woody, to be fair to him, just went and saw. I didn't know this, but he saw the manager's like, "Gaffer, literally, like Rob's just told me this."
He's having a tough time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, they didn't do any. I didn't get any special treatment or anything, but I think it was just to make the manager aware that actually, like what he probably saw was wrong. And to be fair, we turned up at Plymouth, and I've been training well, doing well, and he was called me on the pitch, and he was like, "Come here, you." And I was like, "Oh God, I'm in trouble again," because like he never said anything nice. And then he was like, "You've been unbelievable." He said, "I've been really impressed. You're going to get in the team at some point because you're doing well. He's like, I'm going to give you a new contract." And I think I went from 300 quid a week to like at the time I didn't know what I was getting, but I think I went from 300 quid to say £1,000 a week.
Boom.
So that meant I actually I could get on my overdrive. I had like 10 grand in debt. It's incredible when you think about it. How my life could have gone. And then I literally was like, oh, that's amazing, blah blah. I was thinking all these happy thoughts, blah blah. So I'm coming out the tunnel thinking this is brilliant. I literally look up and Weaves comes out his box for the first ball, just handballs it. And he was like, I told you, get your chance, on you go. And I was literally standing there. And because it happened after the first 30 seconds, they were like trying
first 30 seconds.
30 seconds. It was the first ball. Do you know when you play the ball back?
Yeah.
They just smash it in the channel. Weaves had come out for it. It was a really windy day. He missed it and he handballed it to stop the guy going through. And then the gaffer they could try to decide who to take off because obviously it was just chaos. And I'm standing at the touchline all ready to go, and my leg would not stop shaking. It would not stop shaking.
How old were you, Rob?
Like 20. And my leg's going like this, and I'm like, oh my God, my leg's shaking. I don't know what to do. So I was thinking, everyone's going to, you know what you're like? You're in your head, like, everyone's going to see my leg's shaking. So I just started like jumping up and down.
Was your dad in the chat?
No. So my uncle was there, and so obviously it worked out really well that way. But I was literally like, well, I've got to dance up and down, going to do some quick feet, going to have to do everything. So I was literally doing this. It took about a minute. So I was doing this, I was blowing by the time I went on. So I went on and I think we won 2-1 in the end, and then
decent.
and then I got dropped the next week, so they called Randolph back off loan and played him. So it's like,
you're going to get your chance.
I was just like, yes, I'm in it as I dropped, but it all worked out in the end. But yeah, it's mad. It just shows how mad life is. Just the little things.
Do you have a family have they ever spoke to you about, because football fans are opinionated, can be quite ruthless. So imagine your uncle or your brother, whoever it is, family member, sat in the stand and someone's going, that fucking Rob Elliot has made a mistake or something, and they're kind of going, oh, that's my...
Yeah, it's awkward. It's horrible.
But you even said, how many times you found out, this one idiot. I just wanted to say something. It's like, you just can't say anything.
No,
my mum's
can't.
the worst. No, mums are like, God, my mum's will come everywhere, follow me around. She's amazing. But she's the one she gets so upset by. I remember she come on the pitch once when I was like 15. I got knocked out, smashed into the post.
Did you?
Post. And you're 15 years old, you think you're cool, right? And then I get knocked out, but I'm fine. It's just first. I wake up, the first thing I see is my mum. And she's like that, and I was like, "Get the fuck off!"
Yeah,
I think it's like the first time I swear, get the fuck off the pitch now.
It's
get
unbelievable.
Off. And she's like, "Well, I'm just checking." It's like, "No, get the fuck off the pitch." And literally, I snapped. I was get off, and I was fuming.
My missus, we went to watch my lad play the other week, right? And it was absolutely freezing. It's like ridiculous. And she's going, "He looks really cold. Shall I take his coat on?" And I'm going,
"No, what? Don't you dare!
You want to take his coat on a football pitch?
Leave him alone.
He will
He's
never
fine.
forgive you."
I know, honestly, yeah. You can mentally scar. You don't realise at the time.
Right.
You can mentally scar them.
Friggin' no chance.
I know.
All right, cool. So you smashed it at Charlton, okay? The move to Newcastle. How does it how does that materialise back then, kind of thing?
So I was at the time I was on a decent contract. So I'd fast forward and got in the first.
Another new contract,
yeah. So things going really well. I'm really happy. Obviously, it was in League One, so it was nothing. It wasn't like Premier League money or anything like that, but it was still amazing. I managed to buy a flat and all that sort of stuff.
Just changes, like you were saying earlier on, though, comfortably. It just changes your life for you and your nearest and dearest type.
You think most people have to work for 10 years, go to university if they're lucky, or get a job and work their way up just to get to the position where they're maybe not even in debt or where they're saving for a flat.
Course,
and then within 3 years, you can do that as a footballer. So that's why this job is so amazing, the opportunities it gives you, and to help other people as well, like help your family, which you'd never be able to do. I was out of contract. I had a year left, I think. And then basically the club were like, they're not going to give me another contract because I was 24 and I was like, well, I was 25, sorry. No, it's right. And so Andy Woodman and Pardew got the Newcastle job somehow. And Andy took Andy Woodman with him as goalie coach.
Course,
so then Woody was like calling me saying like, right, well, we need to sign a young one. But he said like they've got free. He said like these goalies are a joke. He said Steve Harper, obviously ridiculous experience. You've got Tim Krul, who obviously at the time he was still a young goalie, but everyone knew how good he was going to be. And then they had Fraser Forster. So he said I've got Steve Harper. He said, so I know I've got my experience in that. He said, but I've got Tim and Fraser. He said the trouble is I don't know how I'm going to keep both of them happy. So he said to me, it all basically come back to the fact that Fraser was going to play a game in pre-season. And the manager was going to decide after that game how the goalies were going to work. And to be honest, I think the game got called off after half time, so it was a bit of a nightmare for Fraser. Yeah. I don't know if it's just my side.
So that was his chance, basically.
I don't think it was his chance, but I think it was sort of the manager working out the pecking order and stuff like that. Because obviously at the time, even having 3 senior ones wasn't quite. It was only 10 years ago, but he still didn't a club like that. Probably didn't have 3 senior ones. So then, anyway, Fraser signed for Celtic. So then there was an opportunity for me to go. But then, unbeknown to me, the chief exec at Newcastle and the guy who just bought Charlton hated each other. So they're like, I got caught in this little like bidding war,
in the
sort of like, but it's almost like a thing. And I was
handbags.
like, so basically, it all got kiboshed. This is like the beginning of August. So then Charlton signed Ben Hamer, and Ben, like, really, really good goalie, come in, did really well. I think I played the first 4 or 5 games of the season. Then they put Ben in because Powley was like, the manager at the time, Chris Powell, was like, he's going to be my keeper. Hopefully, sort your situation out. So then I'm thinking, like, well, it's done. I'm not going back there. Even Woody was like, I don't think it's going to happen. So then on the transfer deadline day, because I didn't even have a call or anything, no messages, my cricket team had a five-a-side tournament, so I was playing in that because I wasn't even in the Charlton squad. So I was playing five-a-side at Frinsbury, right? And so I'm playing along. We get to like the quarterfinals, semi-finals. I'm like, we're going to win this. Like, what a great day! And like my agent calls and he's like, I'm coming to get you. You're signing for Newcastle. I was like, what? And he was like, I've just got the call. It's all agreed. Charlton have accepted the bid. I'm coming to get you. We've got to fly there tonight. And I was thinking, like, I've literally, like, I'm in my kit and I'm thinking, well, I'm at the cricket club, like, you're gonna have to, I haven't got my car or anything.
Yeah.
So I didn't try. I don't know how actually. I was planning to. So he come and got me, and then we literally. But I never experienced this before, right? So within 2 hours, we're on a plane. I'm in Newcastle, and
goalies don't ever get to experience that on transfer deadline day. It never happens to goalies.
How old were you, Rob, when you went to Newcastle?
So I was 25. So then moved to Newcastle, and like within a day and you're there, and it's just like a whirlwind. I mean, it's a whirlwind. It sounds really cliche, but it is. It's a complete whirlwind.
So when you signed for Newcastle, obviously you're from that area, Charlton, signed, boyhood club. Do you just kind of go along with it? What is your thought process in terms of, I've got to move to Newcastle, it's the other end of the country? Was that any consideration?
Yeah, you think about all these things, but you don't really, because it's so stimulating in so many different ways. You're not really thinking about. So like now, when you move, you just, because you've got a family and you're old and you're experienced, you think about all the things that it could affect. Yeah. At the time, it was like me and Robin, we weren't married or anything. We're engaged. We just like been together for a little bit of time, and so then it was like, well, like, so basically, I remember we had a brief conversation like, well, you can move up, or
we're doing it basically.
Yeah, you can move up, or you don't have to. It's like, but that's it. Like, there was no sort. I didn't have a choice. But obviously, to move to Newcastle in my stage was incredible. But then I remember going in there, and then John Carver said to me, his assistant manager at the time, he was like, when you first walk out the stadium, he said, don't look at anything. Walk to the bottom end of the stadium towards the Gallagher and get to the far corner flag, and then turn around and have a look. So you know the big free.
Have a look at that bad boy.
And mate, I did it, and I literally was like, oh my god, I shouldn't be here. I was literally like, someone's gonna work out that I'm a fraud, and that like they're gonna say, Rob, sorry, you're gonna have to go.
Incredible.
But like, again, just the level that went up, mate. Like, we're used to it now, so we've been used to playing. Well, you've always done it, but like going for that jump in that level was just. Luckily, I think I played one game that year in a cup. Did average like at best, and but I trained with the team the whole time, like on and off the bench with Harps. And it was the best thing I've ever done.
What sort of players were we talking about at that time for Newcastle?
It's like Johan Kabay, Chek Demba Bar.
Yeah,
Demba Bar
nice.
was, Papi's come that season as well. Even lads like, and I mean it's great respect because they're my friends, like Big Shola, Mike Williamson, James Perch, Ryan Taylor, like Stephen Taylor. Like he come back. He had a bad injury, but what a good defender he
was. What year were you at Blues?
2011.
So you signed in 2011.
Yeah. So we might have played against you actually, maybe.
You played there.
I
once,
wouldn't have played.
You played there once at Blue. This is quite funny actually because we went up. So whenever like me and my mates and Ben's mates, we always look. Premier League season fixture comes out. Newcastle away. When's that? So we go up to the Blues. Mega. Stay up for the weekend because I think you used to get the day off.
Yeah. On the Sunday off, we'd have the Sunday off.
Would give you the day off, wouldn't he? So we had a night out. Go out, meet some of the lads, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I remember because it was quite funny. I remember the one time I stood next to Ben and everyone's coming up to Ben and laughing their heads off. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? And people taking pictures of Ben and he's kind of going, what's on? And Curtis Davis had put a condom on your shoulder.
yeah.
And then you spotted it and like that. But then we went to this nightclub, Newcastle, what was it called? It was called Tup Tup Palace.
Yeah. Tup Tup, well done.
And we've gone in there and we walked in. And the whole Newcastle team were in there. So we've gone in and in your scanner room and you go in and you've got, I think, was it Joey Barton, Kevin Nolan?
Yeah, Joey Barton was in there, yeah.
Tim Krul, you beeline for Tim Krul straight away.
Straight to the
goalkeeper friends and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that would have been the first
I think
year.
That might have been that might have been the end of the season before I come, because I left when Joey left and Kevin Owen left.
Okay,
yeah. But that's the thing. It's such a small city that when you go out, you see everyone. Yeah. So it is like there's no hiding place.
That is
really.
the one though. That is the one fixture. Like when you're playing, if it's Saturday games and you know you've got Newcastle away, you're making a special event of it, ain't you?
Yeah.
You are.
100%.
Stay up after the game. We'll go out. We'll have a few. We'll have a
Yeah.
lovely time. We've got a day off tomorrow. It's boom, and it's wicked.
You know as well when you go out, whoever you played against, as long as they've got a day off the next day, you know you're seeing half the team.
I know.
You're seeing half the team. Right?
Yeah. No, that's ledge. What were we talking about Newcastle there? So you just signed a four-year contract, yeah?
I think so, yeah. I think so. 4 or 5 years.
Option.
Yeah,
so we were talking about this, Fozzie, sorry to interrupt. We were talking about this earlier on. At the time, Newcastle contracts were 5 and 6 years, weren't they?
Yeah, so I actually signed 5 years. Considering I come from League One, I signed 5 years. But I think the way they did it was that I think Mike was everything was basic,
Mike
really
Ashley.
basic. Yeah, Mike Ashley. Yeah, everything was really basic, but it was long term. So it was almost like you sign this and that's it. None of this. You've done really well. You get another one. It's like, well, that's your contract you signed. He was very blunt about the way he did things. So I'm not giving away any trade secrets. It is what it is. So I remember a couple of times there was issues because lads would sign contracts. And then they'd do really well, and there'd be interest from other clubs now. And he'd be like, "Well, no, you've got 4 years left, or you've got 3 years left."
You can't. This is a big debate in football, isn't it?
It's a big one. Two ways. Exactly. So it's a tough one. So you want to have that security. You want to have that. So it's almost, and I think what he did as well is he probably gave you under market value, but no one. I think he gave lads 6-year deals at some point.
Yeah, he was 6 years. He was definitely.
I always remember watching it.
Signed a 7-year deal.
8-year deal. The whole coach and stuff. Yeah.
I think it only ran out a couple of years ago.
He did.
Exactly. Yeah. He was doing 0 hours in Sports Direct.
I remember watching it on Sky Sports News and just as your average bloke watching TV, and I always used to clock it and go, why did Newcastle give 6 years? They dish out. I think it was Toyota had 6-year deal, and you go, kind of makes sense. But then again, if it doesn't go that way, you're kind of stuck with them for.
Well, I think that's the other side of it as well. So there was situations where lads just ran it down. We had a few lads sign, and they were just there all the time, but they never played. Never got.
I'd say it's a dangerous thing to do. It is.
Yeah. If you do it with the right players, it's very, very good. But football's it's so unpredictable.
You don't get many, do you?
No.
We've had this little weird conversation sometimes of saying if we owned a football club, how we'd run it, right? And it's a wicked concept, right? So we would literally just do our due diligence on every single player that we signed. Yeah, we would want to know everything about this guy. What's he like with other people first and foremost? That's the most important. Is he a good guy? Is he professional? Does he? Well, the professional bit can be as long as he does it properly.
Does he turn up and do it properly when he should be?
Does he turn up on time with everything he needs? Yes. Boom.
Does he drink San Miguel? Yeah, he's my kind of guy.
This is the sort of thing. If you've got a bunch of players, a team of players that are all of the same ilk, I don't think you can go far wrong. You can't, can you?
No.
There's a lot to be said for it.
It doesn't matter where, and that's the thing. It doesn't matter where you're from. What you do, Imran, isn't he?
Yeah.
Imran joins in with us. He come over. He's French Moroccan.
Yeah.
Didn't speak much English, but whenever we do anything, if we're on the bus playing cards or we're just playing what's the iPad game you play, he's literally getting involved. Even when he couldn't speak English, he's always there because his mentality is he wants to be a part of the team and all that sort of stuff.
I saw he's just come back from African.
This is Imran Loser.
He's just come back from African Cup of Nations, and he actually got back in today, his first day today. So I saw him, I was buzzing, blah 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 blah. He's like, "Hey Fozzie, nice to see you," blah blah blah. He's asking about my injury. So I saw him see Rob in the changing room. Right, Rob's got this obviously massive beard, and the last time that Imran saw him was a month ago before he went to AFCON, and he's gone up to Rob. He's like, "Oh my god!" and he's like twisting his head. Hey, he's so long, you lovely guy there. But that's what I'm saying. I would literally just do full due diligence on every single player, and the most important thing is he a good lad? Is he professional? Will he get stuck in? Will he do it properly?
It's the same as any business.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we've got the Cycling GK business, as you know, Rob, and we've got a couple of full-time employees, with 3, including myself.
And we made a massitive mistake, didn't we? Because Frank the editor and Ginger Jamie, they're
useless. They're dickheads.
Liabilities.
No, but you do. You look at it and you go, right.
I don't know if we can talk to Scholesy.
Nah, Scholesy massive time.
Last time I saw him, he was in a Watford kit. He was in a Watford kit. He was like, "Oh, Rob,
say hello.
Come on, what a legend this."
So we signed Scholesy.
Yeah, this was deadline day in August, wasn't it?
It was, It was, Go on, tell the story.
So we signed Scholesy from Watford, didn't we?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you come and pinched me, didn't
you? You've got to talk to the camera. Look at the camera. Give me the thumbs up. Yeah.
Literally from Watford, pretty much. Yeah.
Do you want me to explain the story?
Is it the money? How much did you want at Watford and how much they offer you? Is that what?
I wasn't actually on anything.
So Jamie was one of the interns at Watford.
Can't miss his head. It's fine.
It's a funny story, really, because
Nice one, Jay.
it's a nice story, though, isn't it, Jay? Sit down for a minute. You're golden, mate. You had a lovely time. Yeah, sit on Rob's apples. So Jamie, he was actually an intern at Watford at the beginning of this season, and the cycling GK was in full flow at the beginning of this season. I went over basically the first day. All the new interns were there, sat on a table having their breakfast, and there was like a table of 4 or 5 of you, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And I went straight over and I was like, lads, any of you lot do? No, first of all, I said, nice to meet you all. I'm blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I was like, do any of you lot do editing or anything like that, social media, blah blah blah? And everyone was a bit like, no, not really. But Jamie here, young Jamie, was like, yeah, I do a little bit. To be fair,
I can learn.
and he literally said, but I can learn. I was like, all right, cool. So I gave him my number, and then I remember he grabbed me a couple of days later and he was like, Ben, what actually is it you'd want like me to do, kind of thing, blah blah blah. So I told him, I want you to start practicing with editing and social media, all this kind of stuff. All right, cool. He went away. He sent me a message about a week later. Right, Ben, I've been learning this. I've signed up to this course. I've signed up to that course. I've took advice for this. I've took advice for that. And I'm going to get it like working. I'll send you some stuff when it's ready. Another week later, he sends me some clips of some stuff that he's edited. I was like, oh my God. I went to you, didn't I? I was like, mate, what a guy. And we loved him, didn't we, Rob?
What a legend.
We absolutely loved him at Watford because he was the loveliest kid, wasn't he? Everybody loved Scholesy from day one.
Not, can you?
Yeah, exactly.
I had a lot of nicknames, to be honest.
What were your nicknames for
I had Scholesy, Scholesy, Matty Longstaff.
Look at the camera.
Matty Longstaff.
You got to put their faces up next to
Chesney,
Coronation Street. Yeah. I had them all. No one called me James.
But I think the point is like Premier League football, right? You've got senior players like you two boys bowling around the football club, and I think people have this perception that you get interns and graduates and young lads and ladies working around the football club, and they're a different world. But like you've got the most senior pro at Watford ringing me going, there's this kid at Watford and we've got to have him.
Yeah, we've got to have him.
He is driven and tenacious, and bloody hell, Jay, you're going to have a good sleep tonight.
I know, yeah.
But,
Have you got a missus? Because you're going to get one soon.
this is how it works, though. This is how it works. And Jamie's skill set, and this isn't talking you down, Jay, at the time, wasn't quite what we needed, but he's like, I can learn.
Yeah.
And that for us is the most important attitude.
His skill set didn't matter. It was you. It was the person that mattered. And honestly, like I said to you, like, do you want to come and work for me? And you were like,
I was like, yes. Yep. straight up, like next week, didn't I?
And that was it. We need to put your face up there. I'll just jump out.
Jamie, you get a podcast.
I think I'll leave.
Right, so Jay, you're a legend. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, honestly, like, people are the most important. You can have all the ability and skills that you want, right? But the people and the dynamic that it builds and like breeds is the most important thing, isn't it?
Mate, it's huge. And like, you know, you say when we're sitting around messing around with calves, like playing pool, and just like even the staff, like the people at a football club that from the outside you wouldn't think were important,
Kieran,
like
anyone like that,
Kieran,
exactly,
like,
Sharon Lynette, Chef,
Lee,
Peter.
Danny, like everyone, isn't there? Like the people that you don't realise, like from the outside, I don't think it's important. They're so important because
Kitman, DJ,
like Mo, like they just create a bond between everyone, and sometimes you don't realise actually the difference that makes between, say, some lads who are shy or they're quiet, and then some lads just actually, like, I talk to the staff when I talk to the lads. Do you know what I mean?
True.
I mean, like you do, and that's not anything against lads, but sometimes you spend more time with them than they're around a lot more because they're obviously always there, and you end up sitting down for dinner, and it's nice because you actually look forward to seeing them, not because they're your teammates or anything like that, because you actually enjoy their company.
Yeah.
And like you said, that's the biggest thing, isn't it? Like, you don't want to sign a dickhead. There's nothing worse, is there? When
True,
you've got a dickhead in the camp.
So here's a question.
It's one of the first things that we ask, honestly. If we sign a new player, it will be asking around the lads, anybody know him? What's he like? And you do.
They're work colleagues.
You literally say, what's he like?
Colleagues.
What's he like?
Yeah.
Because you want to know that he's a good lad and he's going to fit in.
So with coming back to Newcastle quickly, and there was a period of those long-term contracts. Now we've seen big news, Premier League, Aubameyang going to Barcelona, for example. I look at it and say, he signed his big contract and it appeared he downed tools. Would you agree? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think he probably has done, but not purposely. I don't. Apart from all accounts, he's a lovely lad, Aubameyang. Like we had Aaron Ramsdale in there, and he said he's a great lad. Honestly, he said he's absolutely wicked. But I think what happens is subconsciously you do it. You do. Once you've signed that big money deal, like his money.
Pressure's off, the motivation?
Yeah,
what is it?
I think the drive, the hunger goes a little bit. I think for him, I think his background, from where he's come from, all that kind of stuff, he's just signed an absolute mammoth monster deal. Like £250,000 a week. Like, I would honestly bet that 99% of the population, you give them that money, it would make virtually every one of them
it
lose their
becomes the
hunger.
individual then. When you're talking about individuals, I think it then becomes a very personal thing, doesn't it? Because you could give you for example, Ben, 10 million quid a day. But I know that you still want to make cycling GK content.
Yeah, it's not about the money. Some people aren't about that, and again, it's not that's not a saying that he's like that either. But I think it subconsciously it will water it down a little bit. It will make you take your foot off the gas a little bit.
Yeah.
Subconsciously, you might not quite try that tiny little percent, but that 1% sometimes is the difference between being that top player and not being that top player.
I think that's the best players, the greatest players of all time. They play as if they're playing for like their future in every game.
True.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't honestly sit here and say I have the same desire that I had when I was 20 years old and I couldn't pay my bills, because I was playing football because that was an opportunity for me to provide for myself, my family, my future family, to get out of a situation I'd never be in this situation to get out of. Do you know what I mean? Like that you would, but it'd take time to. And like you say, when you're talking that, any money, any level where you go to the point where money becomes astronomical, it must be hard. I think you have to, it depends on that. That's when your real personality, your real drive, your real desires come out. Like you say, yours is becoming obviously not, I'm not like you train every day top drawer, and I'm not just saying that because you're here, but you're always on it every day. But also I know that in your mind you love this stuff, and this is what you love doing, and it's because that's what's taken over, that's what drives you. And I think like that's what I think that's what we got to get away from. I love this. I love what you're doing. That, like, I always joke about it, but I think it's wicked because people see that being a footballer is an amazing job, and the opportunity and the responsibility is unbelievable. And you should never take it for granted. You should do everything you can when you're on the pitch, when you're training, etc. But you've then got to go and be Ben Foster or whoever, or Patrick or whoever you've got to be. You've got to go and be them. And if you're and I think that's why the mental health issues come in, because lads think they have to be
a certain
what people
way.
want them to do. Actually, you don't. Just as long as you're respectful, you work hard, you do what you should do on the pitch and on a Saturday when it counts. Well, the rest of the times, go and do what you want. If you're into, like, if you want to do this, if you want to build an empire, if you want to just learn to dance, it doesn't really matter. I don't really care, but like, you should feel free to do it. Do you know what I mean? But I think that's the stigma at the moment.
Rob loves indie music, so Rob's like massive into it. So, but he loves a mosh pit. Like, people don't know this.
I've got my mosh on. Unbelievable.
The gigs that this guy goes to, right? He'll go to any gig of anything, right? He knows a lot of the people, a lot of the lads anyway in these bands and stuff. But he will go to the gigs and he gets right up the front
in the mixer,
sweats his absolute tits off, and gets involved.
Do you know what? I love to see the human element of, you know, looking at the lads and the environment that you work in. And I remember when Watford over the past 5 years has obviously been heavily a lot of Italian influence, a lot of Spanish influence, and at one point you had with the Spanish managers. And I remember speaking to Fozzie, and like before COVID, Ben used to get the train down to work every day, and he was learning Spanish, weren't you? Like Duolingo, learning Spanish, and you think that's just the kind of normal thing to do. If I worked with 6 or 7 Spanish people, Italian people, French people,
You'd learn the language.
Yeah, you would.
I'd make the effort.
Yeah, it's true. I think this is what Rob said a minute ago, though, is basically there's virtually every footballer is pretty normal. They are, but there is a few percent that probably spoil it for the rest of them, don't they?
Yeah.
They're the ones that make the hot headlines, and do you know what? Leave them to it, kind of thing. They'll probably realise the mistakes as they get older. But there's I've got to say, very few goalkeepers that are dickheads. That is true, isn't
it's true.
There's very few goalies that are dickheads.
That's the thing I miss. What I miss is the goalie group. Like, do you know, like the little, when you have a good goalie group, you really enjoy
World class,
it. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, you go out every day, you have loads of banter, you have a laugh, and
push each other.
Yeah, you push. It's not even like you push each other properly because you understand what it means. And
but it was when you signed for Watford. When you signed for Watford, Rob, and like very quickly after, it made a big impact for Ben. I hope you won't mind me saying, because he's like, Rob signed, and he's a great lad.
Oh.
And do you know what? And we can go and play golf.
And I didn't even know you or know of you, but I knew you were a great lad.
I remember this. We can't really say, can we? But I remember the moment it happened as well. Yeah, I remember the moment it happened.
Like stepbrothers. Did we just become best friends?
It literally was, right? So we was in the car park. I was in the car park at Watford. I was sitting here. I told you a story. I was sitting there and I was literally like, I hadn't been home for like 3 weeks. So the championship's like relentless. And with COVID, it was horrendous. And I was like, I think I've made a bit of a mistake here, because I got on with the lads at training and stuff. I've been there about a month, and it's hard to dig in, especially with COVID. Everyone's like fucking off home and whatnot. And then I was living in a hotel. Then I was living in Kent, so I was driving an hour a day. And we had to park our cars at the training ground, and then we had to park our cars at the training ground, and then go to the stadium or hotel, whatever it was. And then when we finished the game, we had to go back and pick our cars up. So this is obviously after the game. I think we had I think it was in for training the next day. We didn't have a game for ages, so Cisco used to give us the Monday off, didn't he? Yeah. So then I've got in, I was like, it's Saturday night, I'm not going to get to see the kids or anything like that. I'm sitting in my car, get in, turn the lights on, and then Fozzie drives past. I was like, you all right, mate? And he's like, yeah. Pull the window down, he's like, what are you doing? I was like, nothing, what are you doing? Like, fancy a beer? I was like, yeah, go on then. And then that was it. It literally
but you
was
were buzzing, weren't you?
Oh, I was buzzing, yeah. And I literally remember having a beer, and I said to the lads, and I was like, lads, honestly, I was so close to just texting Cristiano saying, I really love this place, but like I just missed the family and stuff like that. And then it turned it around, because it was like that little moment where I was like, I've got a friend. Oh, football friends. But
we've got a few now, to be fair.
But the thing is,
I think it worked out quite nice.
But then it was like, then it just seemed to click into place because of time being somewhere. You know, when you first go somewhere, it's horrible. We had such a good group, didn't we? Like Yuzi, Clevs, and like we sit by the training was finished, we were sitting by the pool table with like 15 lads just sitting around having banter, with each other and that. And that's the good things, and that's when you realise, actually looking back, them moments you get, you've got to really enjoy and take on board.
True that, mate.
But that was a nice little moment. It was a nice one. What are you doing?
The two bearded warriors. Yeah. So when you were at Newcastle, when you signed for Newcastle, what was your understanding of your kind of position in the club when you signed?
Yeah, you know when you're going in, Joe. When you like, same when I signed for Watford, when I went in that I was a young lad trying to impress, but I was so keen. Do you know what I mean? I was literally like, I never thought I'd get to this level. Do you know what I mean? The reason I went there was because Woody was my goalie coach, and he knew me inside out, and so he's been asked to sign someone or contribute towards it, so they've taken me. Obviously a lot of other factors, I was young, I was cheap, like because I was out of contract, etc.
Yeah, but you got to think as well though, when a goalie coach like suggests a goalie or signs a goalie, he has to take an element of what's the word,
risk
risk and responsibility. To say, he has to take the responsibility and the risk. And I know for a fact that if he's signing him again for Newcastle, it's because he's a surefire bet. He knows what he's getting. Good lad, he'll dig in, he'll do it properly. He's a proper goalie, he'll do it properly for you.
And I think that's the thing. And I think the obviously only question mark was the level. Do you know what I mean? Because I never played that level. I trained with Cholton in the Premier League, and I played in the Championship a bit and that. But obviously it's just the question mark. And I remember my first day, Woody told me a couple of weeks later, but I didn't save a thing, right? Because the level was just a joke. He just jumped up, and Woody was standing there thinking, I remember saying, he's talking to, I think it might have been Steve Stone or John Cox, oh fuck's sake, I've fucked up here. It's like, oh my God, come on Rob. Like, and then obviously like, after a while it just kicks in.
Yeah,
you get used to the speed
and
you get used to how good the players are and stuff. And I remember by the end of the season, I remember doing shooting sessions, I backed myself, like, they're not scoring, blah blah blah. Like you back yourself, and you're thinking, I'm backing myself against like Denver and Johan, Ryan, like Jonas, like players like
proven
proper players, and I'm making proper saves, and it gives you, and that helped me massively to give me the confidence that eventually, I think the next season I played a lot more games, that you can actually do it at that level. And then it was a tough one because you had Steve Harper, who's like a legend of the club, been there like 50 years or whatever he'd been there. Like he won't like me for that. But he's there now. Do you know what I mean? He's doing an unbelievable job in the academy. Like he's turning it around, and obviously, like what's going on there, he's perfect for it. But he was brilliant, you know what I mean? Because you had this proper senior goalie. Tim Krul was he had the best season of football I've ever seen. Like really, I watched him and I was like, wow, oh my God, yeah, really good. Like he was really good. Proper, like don't get me wrong, he's had a grazing career, especially after his knee. His knee was so bad, and how he's turned it around has been amazing.
Whatever happened with him, with Rafa at Newcastle? What was the story behind that? Because he had I remember Rafa basically just went, "You're not playing."
I think that was basically. I don't know if there was issues with the club, right? So I don't actually know that, but it was. I remember we was literally in the changing room, and so me, Carl, like Darlow, and there might have been Matt Sells or someone else was in there, and Tim, for some mad reason, the lads were doing activation. Obviously, goalies doing activation, like so we don't. It's like
we activate our mouths. We have a little conversation.
We activate the coffee machine. Then we go, and then and Rafa walked in the dressing room, and he was like, like basically saying to Tim, he had a letter in his hand saying like. They obviously had a thing. Tim had to go to the academy, and Tim was like, "No, I'm not going. Like I've been here 10 years."
What do you mean he's got to go to the academy?
They said you've got to go and train at the academy.
So you're not allowed near anymore. You've got to get changed over there from now on.
Yeah,
out of the blue.
I don't know what had happened. I don't know if it's. I think it was his contract. They weren't going to renew his contract or something like that. I don't know. And because Tim had a really bad injury, he'd done his ACL like I did, but it was bad.
Yeah, it was a bad one.
Yeah, but he come back and it took a bit longer. And he come back and he come back well. So then Tim was like, "Well, I'm not going." And literally, me and Carl were sitting there like.
Wow.
Yeah, we're like making eye contact, like, what should we do? Like, and then we was like, should we go? Yeah. And then Rafa was like, I have a letter here. This is an official letter from the club. And then I know, like, oh my God. So like literally, so you're just like,
oh,
and you just slide along the wall. And me and Cole just like,
walking out.
And you just literally like disappeared in the background. It was like, oh my God. But it was just like, oh, that was so awkward. But for whatever reason, I think Rafa and Tim clashed because like Tim's quite abrupt, but he's got that Dutch mannerism.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't
They
think
just
he
say
means
how it is. Yeah,
I love it. Like Tim would not. Tim, to be fair to Tim,
Yeah.
does not give a fuck. He'll say whatever he thinks. And like to be fair, he's a good lad. So he's never been like a dick. But like he'll just say it. Do you know what I mean?
Like the Dutch lad in Ted Lasso. You don't know Ted Lasso. Just says how it is.
Yeah, exactly. He just says how it is. And then obviously Rafa as well.
By the way, he looks like Coach, doesn't he? How much does he look like Coach out of Ted Lasso? Look, he's Coach.
But yeah, so obviously but mate, yeah, it was mental. So you're just literally like, fucking, this is crazy. But like Rafa was one of them guys that was just like, once you don't want you, or like he's got his way and that's it. He won't bend. He won't try and bring you into. He's like, that's it. Do you know what I mean? He's like,
I think that's probably been not half his problem. I'd say that's what was his problem at Everton. He had a massive falling out with a lot of the players, didn't he? Luca Digne, for example, and then. I think that modern way of managing.
I think that's changed. Do you know what I mean? Like even with Mourinho, who's a legend, by the way, and I'd love to play for Jesus Christ.
It doesn't work anymore,
Jose,
does it?
if you need a goalie. But I think like but like.
Jose, if you need a goalie, however, I'm about to slaughter you and say it doesn't work anymore.
No, but like when he was at Man United, for example, like when you looked at it, like everyone wanted to play for Mourinho, didn't they? Because you see players crying when he left. I was like, flipping hell, that's like incredible. I want to play for a manager. Yeah, and Inter Milan, and I was thinking like, I want to play for a manager. I want to cry. Not makes me cry. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think towards the end he was
leave me alone. I'm trying.
I'm sorry, they don't work. But then like, yeah, and you just think, oh, this is. Like you want to play for him, but I think when he went to Man United, he felt like he went dictator mode, didn't he? And that's not him. Like for me, like Roma, he seems to got his mojo back and stuff. But yeah, maybe with Rafa, like Rafa was strict. Like he was like it was his way. He had the same sessions, the same everything. It was all planned and like unbelievable manager in terms of the way he did things. Unbelievable. Like we started off really well, and then the relationship like sort of faded out, and that was it. I got separated, and do you know what I mean? Probably I could look back and think I could have done other things better. I would like to think that maybe Rafa could have done a couple of things better. Whether he admits that or not, I don't know. Like it is what it is. But then but to be fair to him, it was what he wanted to do, and he did it that way. Like it was just really hard to like the way he did things. It was really hard to sort of like build a bond with him. Do you know what I mean? Like I think even Carragher and Gerrard said they didn't know him that much more than then that's the thing. Like he was,
kept it like that.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. He was like, well, we're at work, so he didn't talk about family. I remember like one day we was I was like, it was after Christmas, and I said to him, "Oh, did you have a nice Christmas stuff?" He said, "Yeah." Oh, it was after Boxing Day, and we lost. And like, okay, I know it's tough, and I remember saying to him in the morning, I was like, "Morning, Gaffer, how you doing?" I was like, "Did you get to have a nice Christmas with the family stuff?" He said, "Yeah, but obviously we lost." So I was like, "Oh, okay." I said, "But did you have the family?" He said, "Yeah, but," and like he just didn't want to engage in it whatsoever.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that was just him. That was his like, well, he was more like a CEO. That's the way I felt like he was like a CEO of the company.
Didn't get involved.
Yeah, but what he was brilliant with is he was brilliant with the fans and he was brilliant with the media. Like he manipulated the media anyone I've ever seen. Yeah. Oh my God, it was incredible. Like
never his fault.
Never his fault. But we had journalists like that were just caning us, and rightly so at the time because we were horrendous. And literally, like he come in. We still got relegated. It wasn't his fault. He hadn't been there long enough. But these same journalists are like suddenly like they're like, oh, he's the Messiah and all this sort of stuff. But in a good way, it's like fair. Like that's why the top managers do. They know exactly what to say when they want to say it. And it was absolutely amazing to watch. Like it literally was like this guy is just come in and completely
manipulation genius.
No, but not like not sneaky.
Like
obviously he did it. He got us promoted and that sort of stuff. But it was just amazing to see how he did it. Like how he said things when he said it. Like it was just like you're actually thinking like it's fucking. It's so impressive.
Yeah. Were you? Was Andy Carroll there? Were you?
Second, when he come back, yeah. So,
how was he? Because he's meant to be a good lad, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a great lad. Yeah. Actually, I said about taking him to Watford. Obviously, when I mentioned him because he's just a good lad around the place. Yeah. Obviously, just physically ridiculous, massive lad.
He's a beast, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just good around he's just really good around the place. Do you know what I mean? Like, just happy. Just good lad. Cracks on every day. Just cracks on. Like,
I used to hate playing against him. Every time I played against him, he's a striker version of Craig Dawson, who's a defender. He's horrible. He will elbow you. He will head you. He will head you. He's horrible.
And he's bigger than you as well.
Yeah,
so, he's bigger than everyone.
He's bigger, he's stronger than you, and he will leave one on you. And he's horrible. And he would always bully us, honestly. Every time we played him, whether it was West Brom, Watford, whatever, he would bully the life out of everyone. He was horrible.
He's the only player I've ever played against that when they have a goal kick, you're worried. You're literally like, it's like they're taking a goal kick, and I'm like going, oh my god, you mean what's going on? And when they get a deep free kick, you're like, oh, for fuck's sake.
That's brilliant.
So you're like, come on then, here we go.
And you were at Watford for Newcastle for 10 years.
10 years, 9 seasons. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. So obviously you've gone to Newcastle.
I love the fact. Sorry, can I say? I love the fact we just talk shit, right? And we're just chatting away, and he has to go. Right, come on, lads. There's actually a reason you're here.
We've got a script here. All right.
I've gone on Google. I've found 4 things about your whole career to talk about. Can we just get through them before we have to go home? You've been at Chelsea, you've been at Newcastle, you've been at Watford, and now you're doing the One Glove. Can we just talk about these and then we can go?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You've put me off my. You've put me off my step now, Rob. You bastard.
Sorry, buddy.
Newcastle played some European football. Cruciate knee ligament injury, 2016.
Yeah, well, yeah. Do you know what? I think probably a big defining moment for me. Like, I got in the team finally, played the season, played really well. Felt like I was doing the things that I've done in training, that I've done in the past, but never got the opportunity to play long enough to be able to feel comfortable.
2016, what, 30 years old? Yeah.
20 I don't 29 I think my son had been born, so 28 29 and then so I just felt like I got a genuine opportunity because Tim done his knee. I was away with Ireland, Tim done his knee, so I knew I was going to play. Played against Norwich, and then I played a game against Bournemouth, which literally changed everything. Because I mean, if you ask most Newcastle fans before that, it was like, yeah, he's all right. He's like, he's all right. But like, played against Bournemouth, had a really good game, 1-1-0, and like it was almost the I think the impression of me changed. I was like, oh, he can actually make saves. Like, he can use his hands.
I remember that season. I do.
It was.
And I was exactly the same as that. I remember watching it thinking, oh, he's a proper goalie.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it was like, I felt like I was getting a chance to do the things like come for crosses, kicking, like making saves, all that sort of stuff. Like genuinely winning, not winning my games myself, but contributing to us actually taking points.
Getting a few highlights on Match of the Day.
Yeah,
every
exactly.
Saturday
Like
night
picking
kind
up
of
the
thing.
things and stuff. And obviously, like to be fair, the club, we were struggling as a team, but I felt like we had enough to stay up. And then I went away with Ireland. It was before the Euros, the 2016, and I think I think Daz was at Borough or West Ham, in and out, and then I'd been playing every week. So we both played the game. It's like you play a game each. So I think it's between me and Daz to see who would play in the Euros, pretty much. Darren Randolph, sorry. Who actually I was at Cholton with, just
good lad, really
great
good
lad, top lad, literally the best guy ever. And so we was at the Scholars together at Cholton, and they brought us both through. We thought he was one of us. They brought us both through, and Daz like top goalie, by the way. What a goalie! And so Daz played the first game. I played against Slovakia, and like 8 minutes in, I hadn't touched the ball, I don't think. Ball comes down from the left, cut across, guy goes to shoot, I've gone to go back the other way and he's put it in. So one, I've conceded, then my knee fell off, so I'm lying on the floor with the ball in the back of the net, like, and I knew I'd done my ACL. I've never done my, obviously.
Pop.
Yeah, I knew I'd done my ACL. I was like, I've done my ACL. I've never done it before. Obviously, I know you know this, but I was lying on the floor, and then all going through my head is like, it's all over. Like the season, the Euros, everything.
You were flying, weren't you?
Yeah, I was flying. Yeah, and I was like, and I just felt like I was getting better and better, and you know, like I felt like I was also like developing as a person as well, like as in the dressing room. You weren't just seen as
becoming a senior player.
You've seen a senior player or someone that like you felt you could say things and stuff and it was just one of them bad timing things. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to play the violin, but it's just one of them things. And knee fell off and went again. But to be fair, the club were wicked. And Rafa, I played 2 or 3 games for Rafa, and he was brilliant. I only had a year left, which helped. So they gave me a new contract and went from there. But yeah, like missing the Euros, you know, at the time I was like, not too much, but then and even just to have gone, even if I didn't play, because Daz is wicked.
I think looking back,
just to go to, you've obviously done them, but like it would have been nice just to go. I actually went to the final group game against Italy, where if we won, we qualified. Went with the lads for a 2-day bender. Like, nice. I had face paint on and everything.
Silver lining, mate. Silver lining.
The things you've got to though. Otherwise, like, do you know what I mean? Like, why? There's no point sitting around moping.
Damn right, mate.
No, so yeah, that was fun.
When you got injured, obviously, because you know that when you do the ACL, like you've done your groin recently, and you weren't sure if it was going to be a couple of weeks or a couple of months to start with. When you do something like that, you know you're in it for the 6 to 9 month long
what
haul.
was that? 6, 7, 8 months?
Yeah, so I was quite lucky. I just snapped my ACL, so no meniscus, no nothing. So I was back in training about 6.5, 7 months. Beachy, the physio there, and like unbelievable physio, but just like got me through it unbelievably well. Like just he's like the polar opposite to me. Just in the gym all the time, just an absolute freak.
But it matters though, doesn't it? You need
so
a good somebody who's good.
I had to attach to him because I was like, you are my weakness. Like your strength is my weakness. So I need to feed off you. Yeah, exactly. I need to feed off you. Like and bless him. Like he was unbelievable. We still talk to him now. Like he's an absolute legend. But yeah, I remember. I always remember I did it, and I went away, and I had like 2-3 days in London because my operation was going to be in London, so I had to go for a scan, and then that helped me. I was walking around London with my mum, and because I just had a little baby, just had little Max, and then I was walking around. And I was like, how can I be walking around with no crutches, no nothing, no swelling, and yet like I can't play football for 9 months.
Yeah.
And then so I had the operation. I went back to Newcastle. And so Newcastle, I think it was Lee and one of the other lads, I can't remember, it might have been Dan, said like, can we do an interview with you? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, lads, it's fine, don't worry about it. I'm like, I'm fine, I've got over it. We was talking about it, and he's like, and you're obviously going to miss the season. And I literally like started welling up. And I don't think I didn't actually process what it meant, like to miss, like you're missing the end of a season that was so important, trying to keep us up, and then also missing like a Euros, and then obviously knowing that you potentially missing next season, and so on and so forth, and then it just goes to show that like I just didn't. It's so hard, so many emotions to process. Like you're the best I've ever seen it. By the way, I've never known anyone just to turn up to train like it means everything in the world to you, and then literally be like finish training, like, oh, I'm off now. I don't know how you do it. I literally was talking to Cutler. I spoke to Cuts, who obviously introduced us about the young lad at Villa, and I was like, I said to Cuts, how does he do it? I was like, I don't know. And he said, like, he says to people, how can you do it? I don't know how he does it. I wish I could. I've got better at it as I got older, but I still have to hold on. So there's still things that bug you and take home, but I've never known like
Craig
anyone to do
Cathcart's
it.
like that as well. Craig Cathcart, like if we normally finish most training sessions with like a game 6-a-side, it could be a bit of a longer, bigger game or something. If he loses that game, if he's on the losing side, mate, he's you don't even talk to him. Don't even talk to him. There's no point. As soon as the whistle goes full time, the manager says, "Well done, lads, you've done well today." He will be the first walking in, trudges, miserable as sin, right? And he'll get in the changing room and he'll sit there looking at the floor. And I'm thinking, mate, it doesn't matter. Genuinely, it don't matter. Like, you just tried your best, and that's all you can ask for. Like, and he's so, honestly,
he's wicked. But then when he wins, like, we've got the 80s music on. He's dancing, he's whipping people with his towels and all this. Oh, mate. And then the worst thing with him is like, how good is he when he comes out for a night out? When the seas part and the stars align, he comes out, right? And he's the best. And he's so much fun.
He's the driest man in the world.
Honestly, his banter's incredible, right? But he says to him like, Craig, Saturday night, we've got 2 days off, like, we're going out. He's like, I see how we get on.
He will. He'll see how we get on. He'll see what the results like, and then he'll make his decision up. And if we've won, boom, he'll come. He's good to go. But otherwise, he'll be like, nah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Can you just quickly clear one thing up as well? We did a podcast last week, right, where I made a bold claim, which I stand by.
He hasn't played everyone in the world at Stickman Golf.
He's played me at Stickman Golf.
No, but he's not played everyone else in the world.
Okay, I know you're going to say Craig Cathcart, and yes.
I was going to say me and Craig Cathcart. I think me and Craig Cathcart at one point, were the best two players in the world at Stickman Golf. On multiplayer.
To be fair, when we was playing, when I first got, we played it so much. Like, I'd hardly played it for a couple of years, and it was embarrassing. Like, how good them two. They literally, I'd be like, oh, well, the lift goes up there, and they'd already be finished.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, but listen, with the greatest respect, Rob Elliot saying you two are the best at Stickman Golf doesn't mean you're the best.
They're the best at Watford. There you go. That'll do for me. Craig told a story. I'm sorry, it's not you, but Craig told a story that they used to gang up him in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
So they coach lads to bully him to win. Yeah. Because he was that good.
They used to
celebrate. So if he finished second, they'd all celebrate.
He said he would get in his head so much that it made him sad. It would literally upset him to the point where he would have genuine arguments and fallouts and not want to talk to them because they would gang up.
Well, we've done this with Paul, right? You got to get caps on this. You never do it, but you've got to get away, right? We play at Paul, right? And I go around to his house every night and play snooker. He's got like a pool table. We play snooker, and we said like, he's like, oh, Rob was moaning because I never say good shot when he plays a good shot. I was like, I do. I was like, no, you don't. You don't say good shot. And the thing is as well, he's that type of person that like when he's winning, how happy is he? He's walking around the table. When you're on top and playing well, he's literally like, oh, and then like say something doesn't go for me, he's like, typical, look at this. And I'm literally like, the mentality of that guy is unbelievable.
Yeah, he is lovely.
Actually challenge and get him on the
you get Craig on here, it'd be wicked.
I've heard good things about Craig.
He's a legend.
Right, we're smashing this, by the way.
Sorry.
Can I just ask one more question on injury before we go, Foz?
You just tapped my hand, that was nice.
I did, yeah. All right, babe. When you're injured and you're 6 to 9 months out, what's it like at home and like you're injured for that? Because I would be a shithouse.
Yeah, I'm rubbish. My missus, bless her, I know that's how I knew she loved me, because you're out all day. So like you're in the morning, going swim in the morning, then you're doing rehab, then you're doing treatment, then you're in the gym again, then you're getting home at 4 or 5 and you're absolutely knackered. We just had a baby. So like on top of that, we just had a baby. Like
she just wants to give you the baby.
She's
and
literally
say,
like, yeah, I've been looking after a baby all day. What have you been doing?
Would you say all my cruciates?
Yeah, and I was
a bit
like,
sore?
I was like, yeah, well, I did have to do some knee flexes, like to 90 degrees, so I'm a bit tired from that.
That's true, yeah.
And then like, you know what they're like they're amazing. Like, do you know what I mean? Most football lads, you always have like the missus behind them, and
they're the driving force. They are, mate.
Then
they're
when you go home, you're moody and you're
Yeah.
like being a dick. Basically, they're just like, okay, don't worry about it. You need to rest and all that sort. So when you're saying, "I'll help out," no, you rest. Like you got football, whatnot. So yeah, like yeah, it was tough because I had a brand new baby. Of like, we just moved house actually, and then you're doing, and it's like the priorities change because you're not thinking about playing football. You're just thinking about making your knee better.
Yeah.
And like, I hated it. If I'm being honest, I hated it because going in the gym and stuff doesn't do anything for me. I've got no interest in it. Like not because I don't want to get better or stronger, but like going in the gym to do weights or to do some lifting or whatever, like I'm all up for that. I enjoy that. Do you know what I mean? I do, if like the power stuff. But going into the gym and doing like quad holds and all that, like it just doesn't get, like, it just can't, it doesn't stimulate
stuff.
me.
Yeah,
so like Beachy was wicked, the physio. He did everything he could to like keep me on track. He did, yeah. And he knew every time I got weighed down then I'd have to go. But yeah, like, but also for me, going home's like your haven. Do you know what I mean? That's so important. Like, you've got to go home to your haven. You've got to go home to the place that you love. And like, we live on the beach, right? And I obviously go on about it. You guys get sick and tired of me talking about it, but like, I just love it. I wake up, I open the curtains or the blinds or whatever it is, and you go up and you see the sunrise, you see the sea, and you're like, well, how can I not be happy? Like,
yeah, it's true, man.
Do you know what I mean? How can I not be happy with that?
Like, what beach is it? Like,
so I live in like Tynemouth and Cullercoats. Like I live in there up in Newcastle. Like I didn't Newcastle. They didn't know Newcastle had a beach when I first went up there. Yeah. And I wish I'd moved there straight away. But like that's my forever home.
The best kept secret in the country.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah,
honestly,
it is.
There's not hardly any Geordies up there. They're all Southerners who've moved up.
Really?
Don't tell anyone.
He sent me some pictures. He sent me some videos and stuff before of like looking at it.
It's wicked.
It's beautiful, mate. That's that's me. Although I love being outdoors anyway, but I find it by
cycling wise, it's wicked. Like obviously, I've got into my cycling a little bit and stuff like we did the coast to coast.
Yeah, you did a coast to coast.
It was so good. Yeah, honestly, it nearly killed me, but it was so good. Did it with like Craig and a few of the lads.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Like, but it's just again, it's just with the outdoors with lads. Just love being outside.
Nice, isn't it? Good
especially since COVID, you just realise don't want to be indoors ever again.
True that. I was going to say, have you done many podcasts before?
I've done a few, yeah, but like
just the man, isn't he? You're the man. Like, this is like buzzing. I'm not even joking. I'm not even blowing smoke.
Lads, I swear to God, I'm just.
You're friggin' amazing.
But the thing is, like, I said this. We talked about this before. I was like, we should have opened it saying, "Oh, we got Rob Elliot." And it's like, I'm so sorry, guys. Just tune in next week. Tune in next week. Next week, you got coming up?
We got some good ones. We got the legend, the ponytail, the mustache, the main man.
Oh, sorry. No.
David Seaman.
What a legend, honestly. David Seaman, Aaron Ramsdale, who's going to be the next David Seaman.
Yeah.
And then me.
Yeah. Nah, this is legend.
Rambo ain't going to a ponytail like David
I don't think so.
Nah, exactly. No chance. No.
What are you saying? He's thinning a little bit.
No.
All right. Anyway, let's talk about the next step. Okay, so I said in the intro at the beginning that you're almost a little bit of an entrepreneur. Okay, so
almost a little bit. Well, that's high praise, isn't it?
I don't know how to describe it. Anyway, all I know is that you basically you part own a goalkeeping glove company. Okay, the One Glove Company. Doing incredible things, started from absolutely zero, but you've built it up to the point where you've got Premier League goalkeepers, active Premier League goalkeepers, week in, week out, wearing your gloves. Fair play, mate. Like, fair play. Like, talk to me about it. Talk to me about the company.
So before we say that, unbelievable intro, right? But the main man, Miles Leighton, started it from scratch, right? I come on later. Unbelievable what he's done with it. Just decent, the best guy ever. Just unbelievable. His brother Will as well did it with him. Them two are just geniuses. They're gonna just take us to the next level, and I'm lucky enough to be involved. Like, it's just incredible. I love it. It's something I just have such a passion for, and I just enjoy it. It gives me stimulus outside of football. It just makes me feel like actually this is something that I could have also been good at. But yeah, so like I was playing as you do, and Andy Woodman, as he does all the time, he's I was like, oh, Dilsh. Another thing, my nickname was Dilsh, but he was like, Dilsh, I got goalie gloves, desperate to sign you. They love you. They're going to give you like loads of money, blah, blah, blah. Just give me all the spiel. And I was like, all right. He's like, do you want to meet them before a game? So he was in the Madison, do you know the one in Birmingham, in the middle, the box?
Cube. The Cube.
Yeah, it was in there. And so I met like Miles and Will. They turned up and I'm chatting. I'm like, yeah, like, how you doing? Thinking I'm having a chat. They pull out a contract. Like, oh, you're going to sign? I was like, what?
How much we talking?
No, I don't even know what it was, but like, they literally, I was like, what?
Whoa, steady on, lads.
Yeah, and I was like, Woody said he's all good to sign. I was like, looked at him and he was like, yeah, deal. So I was like, honestly, I told you it's fine, just sign. No,
just do it.
Yeah, like that. He's fine. He's just one of them ones where he just knew it was good for me. He's like, just get on with it. Like, don't even think about it. So in the end, I went away. I was like, listen, lads, I'll have to go away. We'll have a chat. And so went away, had a chat, trying the gloves. Like, these are fucking wicked, these gloves. And then got talking to him, and me and Miles over like probably about a year, for 6 months would have been with him, just got on so well. Probably like you. I mean, you guys known each other for a long time, but you know, you just have the same things lined up.
It's nice,
and he was like, in the end, I was like, we just got to the point where he's like, do you just want to come on board? And I was like, well, stop paying me. I was like, and I'll come onto the company. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, don't stop wasting your money on keepers like me. And then, got involved from there. And like, it's just grown each year, slowly. Like, we've just tried to do things properly, tried to do things the right way. And obviously, like, you know what it's like in football, it's such a close-knit community that if you're not in the inside, it's really hard because lads just really untrusting of people. Because generally, people just want something off you all the time. So got involved in that. And it's going really well. Just like.
So name some of the goalies that we've got in the Premier League.
So we've got David Raya, Brentford, Martin Dubravka, Alex McCarthy, Fraser Forster, Vito Manoni at Monaco.
Yeah, Vito,
we've got like tons of lads. I don't want to miss anyone out, but we've got obviously like Bart's at Bartolo. I can never say Bart's name. No, Bartowski at
Bilikowski.
Millwall, yeah. Bartkowski. Bart, I'm so sorry.
Bart,
you're a legend.
He's a lovely guy.
You're a legend as well. You're so good looking, and you got the best beard. And I'm jealous, but
Bartkowski. Yeah, it's one of them.
Yeah, so like I only ever called him Bart's.
Yeah.
So you got Bart's, who's been with us years. Like what a goal he is, but I don't know how he's never played in the Premier. If he has, I don't know how he's not played more.
Some good talent.
So it's loads of lads, but we've got lads from all levels. It's not just about getting the big lads, it's about everyone. Because like when David first signed, David Ray, for example, like Miles and him get on really well. Like he was at like number 2 at Blackburn, and now he's with us, and that's what we want. We want lads who come on board and stay with us the whole time. But it's just about building the brand and trying to like, it's a business, so you got to make money, right? So like, never ever be like embarrassed about that. Business has to make money to be successful.
Sure,
That's it. It doesn't. That is it. But it's about like putting something in there that is more than that. So people don't buy a business because they just I want, like, it's not a transaction if I want this. It's like, well, you're not just buying a glove, you're buying something that means something that like has been built by keepers from years. Like Miles is a coach, he coaches at Tottenham, he's coached the ladies first team, does the academy, he was a goalie himself. Like same with Will, like obviously myself with the input, and the biggest thing, right, and this is what I think I told you earlier, the biggest thing for me is that the gloves are at a price people can afford and still be Premier League quality. Like we don't skint on anything, we just don't make that much money on them because like, and this is there are some unbelievable glove brands out there, right? And I used to wear all different ones, so I'm not, this is just about us, but like I knew what it was like to be really poor and not be able to afford, like, I used to get trainers off the market and stuff like that, and I hated it.
I did that.
And
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. But I hated it because when you're a kid, you don't understand, and when you get older, I'm buzzing that I went through that because it made me who I am. Like, and I love the way it builds with you. But I don't want any other kids to go through that unless. Do you know what I mean? I don't want. So listen, I'm not saying we can't obviously give gloves away. We try our best to and we help out, but if we've got a responsibility to help the gloves keep the cost down as much as possible so that they're affordable to everyone, then like, do you know what I mean? Like anyone should be able to put on a pair of Premier League goalkeeper gloves and say, I'm wearing the same gloves as like Dubravka or Raya, or if you see,
and they literally
or
are
Fraser,
as well.
Alex,
like, they're literally wearing the same glove. There's nothing.
There's no.
You don't do anything special for the Premier League players.
They
have the same
like
glove, same
sometimes
latex.
a goalie has an injury, so you might have to do something with the fingers or the strap for their wrist or something. Because listen, we're in the Premier League, so I'm not going to sit here and say we don't change anything for the pro. Because obviously I popped my finger, you've done yours, and you stitched yours, but I've had to. We're getting gloves made for my finger because it desiccated and it's all swollen and sore. So like, I get that because it's my job, but. Basically, all the latex, everything's exactly the same. We design it for everyone, and like obviously I can't take that much credit because like I'm still playing, I'm a bit part of it, but it's just an amazing thing to be a part of, and it, like I say, it's just the stimulus outside of football. Being a footballer is the best job I have had, and it's the best job you could probably have as a young boy and a young man. But as you get past that stage, sometimes when you get to mid-30s, the stimulus is different. I don't want to be told every day that I have to wear this, that I have to be here, that I have to eat this, that you can't go out, you can't do this, you can't go and play cricket, you can't play golf. Like, I do that because that's my job and I don't do it, and that's the thing. But when I finish, I cannot wait to be myself and find out who I am and explore things, And I think that's the problem with football, right? So I've got friends who play cricket. I met, me and Sheep, one of the lads, we went and met Mark Wood, who like cricket player, that was like just one of the best cricket players ever. He's my mate, so I'm going to big him up. But like, we met him the night before the start of the World Cup in the bar of the hotel he's staying in, having dinner. We just all had dinner together, and then it was like, where are the lads? Like, they're down the pub watching I think the football might have been on at the time. I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, we're watching I know I've digressed from the glove story, but like, he's like, what do you mean? He was like, Stokes, but I can't remember what it was, right? So I don't want to. They're not going to get in trouble.
The big boys, yeah.
Yeah, all the top lads are there watching the footy. They're not getting drunk. They're just watching the footy in the pub.
Relaxing.
I was like, what? I was like, you got the World Cup opener against South Africa tomorrow. He was like, yeah. And he was like, what do you do? And I was like, explain that we all eat dinner together. We have to be down for 7. We have to eat together and all that. And he was like, are you joking? Yeah. Like, he couldn't fathom it. And I was like, I think football needs to come away from that because, like we said before, that it just doesn't create. No, it
doesn't. Yeah,
stimulus. It doesn't
you want to relax. You want to be relaxed.
It doesn't give like people. It takes away the responsibility of the person to be where they need to be to do what they need to do.
Exactly.
So you can tell someone to do it, and they'll do it. If they do it themselves, then that's better.
Yeah,
so do you know what I mean? And that's where we come away from. So it's a bit of a long-winded story, but it just goes like that's the thing with the gloves. It allows me to be. Not, do you know what I mean? It's something that allows your mind to explore.
Yeah. So
and
is that
take
it? Do you think? So when you retire, do you think that you'll go into the glove company?
Yeah,
you'll start doing a lot more.
Yeah,
stuff like
I think that's the thing. So like. I've involved in a few companies, and it's just because I like to say yes to things. Like I do, and like
you're busy though, ain't you? You like doing stuff.
I just like being busy. I like networking. I'm sociable. I love being with people. I love like having the chat and stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? And like, and I just like to see things. I just want to be a part of something that just goes mental, that goes massive. Yeah. Not because I want to make loads of money, but just because I want to be a part of that. Yeah. And like the one glove for me is like my passion is like it's the thing that it's like.
Look what we did.
It's the baby, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, and obviously it's the thing that we feel that it can just develop more and more, and we'll do that. And but I think like so when I retire, that'll be 100% something I'll buy into. But then. You don't want to give yourself any limitations, do you? Do you know like what you've done with the cycling GK?
Yeah,
like you just literally like you film yourself on a bike, and now you're doing Fozcast, you're doing all this mad shit. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want to be. I just want to see what the world's got to offer because we live in a little bubble really as footballers. Like, and that's not. By the way, I'm incredibly grateful, but also I think like I want to see what else is out there. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to experience the real world because we are sheltered, we are lucky. You know what I mean? We get the best of everything. People seem to want to give you things. Actually, I want to go and find out things for myself. And like the One Gloves helped me with that massively. It's helped me go from sort of like an immature kid to being a responsible,
makes you grow up a bit,
someone thinking about actually like you got Miles and Will and like you're representing the brand as well. Do you know what I mean? You're representing something. You need to make sure you're someone that they can buy into, and that when you say something, you've got to mean it, because if you don't mean it, well, that reflects badly on the company. Do you know what I mean? That you're stating yourself as that person.
I told you. He can talk for England, can't he?
Yeah.
I told you he can talk for England.
Talk for
you have to do some serious
Ireland.
You have to do some serious editing, but yeah, no. So
no, mate, this is a world class. We're nearly done. I've got some questions that I thought of earlier while I sat on the toilet, mate.
Can I kick it off? The Dilsh.
Yeah, where's the Dilsh come from?
So
what's the nickname?
I went alone to Accrington Stanley, one of the best things I've ever done. And
who?
Who are they? And it was brilliant, right? I had the best time ever, and we got promoted. So it's just one of the things. Everything went well. We got promoted to the league. Andy Dibble was the goalie coach. Yeah, absolute legend. By
he
the
was
way.
my goalie coach.
Well, he was your goalie coach.
Wrexham,
what a guy! Just an absolute legend. And we had so Aki had no money, so they used to do like the like feeder program. So like they get paid to take scholars on. There's one lad. His last name was Dilshan or something like that. And he was the loveliest kid ever, but he was so thick, like he was so thick, and it hurt, like, do you know what I mean? But like, you just wanted to cuddle him and stuff, and but he was class. He was proper Lancashire, like, I'm sorry if it's Yorkshire, but
don't care. It is
all right,
what it is.
Rob, all right, and he was a farmer as well. Like his family are farmers, so he was a farmer, but he just wanted to be a goalie. But he was a community thing anyway. And he was all right, Dilshy, how are you? And then literally like. We were just all like, Dilshy, what a Dilsh, like, what a Dilshy. And then, so obviously, it was just a thing, just a little bit of banter between all of us, right? So I went back to Cholton, and after the loan, and Woody served me balls. And then, so like, I think I dropped one or let one in as usual, and then I've gone, oh, what a Dilsh. And he was like, what? And I was like, oh, I said Dilsh, stupid thing, a Dilsh. And then that was it. It just stuck.
From there.
And mate, literally, like, I'll see people and I'll just literally, Dilshy. And I'm like, oh my God. It's like when Gozzy comes, when Gozzy signed for Watford, like, everyone was like, Rob, but Gozzy was like, Dilshy, how are you? And I was like, and then now everyone calls me Dilshy.
And everyone's like, what?
Yeah, what is that?
That's your Twitter name.
Yeah, it's my Twitter name. It's at Newcastle. I was just Dilsh. I wasn't like, all the lads were just like, Dilshy, how are you? Like, I even got I think I got a bought license plate, like Dilsh, like license plate and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it got out of control, to be fair, where it's like, everyone just asked what it means. But yeah, that was literally it.
Right, mate. Rob Elliot, I've got some questions for you, okay? So they're kind of quick fire ish. Give me your Give me your interpretation of the modern goalkeeper playing out from the back. What do you think of it? Agree with it? Disagree with it? What do you think they've got away from anything? Blah blah blah.
Completely agree with it. If the whole team play like that,
Yeah.
I hate it when they expect the goalkeeper to play out when they play. It's got to be a whole team thing. No, like if you're gonna do it, you've got to do it to the fullest, 100%. You've got to buy into it the whole point. You can't just say play out from the back, but not show him, not have angles, not work on the system.
Left back pull out, right back pull out. It kills you, doesn't it?
Exactly, it kills you. It kills me. I hate it with a passion. Like at our level, you should do everything properly to the finest detail because of the way we're at. And I hate that. Do you know what I hate? Lazy coaching. We got to pass the ball better. We're not winning enough ball. Well, no, like unless the structure's there and you haven't shown us every way, you can't say we've got to pass it better. Do you know what I mean? So I'm up for it 1,000,000%. I love goalies playing out, but for a reason, not just for the sake of it.
Love that. The current best goalkeeper in the world.
Are we talking overall everything?
Everything. You had to pick one
Neuer,
player.
I can't say Neuer. I've got to say Neuer all the time.
I love that. That's
Neuer,
a good one. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Do you know
Always.
what?
I just can't. Everything he's done, and I watch him play.
You've got a match tomorrow. You've got to pick a goalie.
You can be a guy, Neuer. I can't fault him in any way, shape, or form.
Best in the Prem at the minute.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Okay, we'll do best in the Prem on form at the minute, and then best in the Prem.
On form, between Aaron Ramsdale and Alisson.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna go with Alisson, just because of the depth of what he's done so far. But Ramsdale and Alisson.
Been on flames,
Fabianski as well. Can I just say?
Yeah, I love
what
that guy.
Goalie.
What a goalie.
He didn't get enough.
Proper goalie.
Get enough credit.
Mate, one of the best goalies. There's a guy who's going to be one of the best goalies in the world. He's sitting on the bench because Fabianski's that good.
True that.
Honestly,
True
so that just shows how good he is. So
absolutely.
I'll give you three.
Areola's a joke. Isn't
He's
he?
a joke.
He's a joke.
Yeah.
So what does that make? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Mate, Fabianski's the most underrated Premier League goalie for sure.
Yeah, I think I'd actually jump. I'm going to jump the crew underrated. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then Alisson's been pretty special this year, goalkeeping wise.
Right. Okay. A goalie that surprised you with a career that you didn't think he'd have.
Ooh,
that's a bit of a
that's
loaded
a really
question.
good question.
No, it's not. This is a good thing. So you've probably seen a lot of goalkeepers over the years, and you thought probably won't go on to things.
Do you know what I say? Nick Pope.
Yeah.
Not because he isn't a good goalie, by the way, but when I was at Charlton, I saw him at like 17. He was just, I think he was 16, 17. He's just this gangly kid.
Yeah.
And then next time I saw him, I was like, oh my
He's
God,
a
who
beast.
is this? Is that Popey? He went to Burnley as like number 3. And then I think a couple of players, I think Heaton got injured and then he got in, or he's number 2. I don't do him a disservice. And I was like, Popey. I was like, Popey was all right in training and stuff. And like, you could tell he's going to be a goalie.
Yeah.
But then he just went to another level. Like, so if you said to me right now, we're playing Man City away, put a goalie in goal to stop the ball going in the net, Nick Pope.
Boom.
Not even thinking about it. Nick Pope, that's it. I don't think there's anyone else who's going to stop the ball going in the net.
Ledge, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's ledge. I love it. This is why we do this podcast, for those little nuggets like that. I love that, Rob, honestly. The goalie that you've seen in action live this season that's impressed you the most live
that
you've come away from and gone, whoa, he's a proper
biased Darlow when we played at home was very good.
I'll agree.
You liked him, didn't you? Yeah,
very good,
very underrated goalie. But
front-footed. I liked his front-footedness.
Brave, one of the bravest kids I've ever seen in my life.
Brave.
Do you know what? It's a random one, right? But not random. Sorry, I don't mean like that. He didn't have loads of saves to make. But when we play Southampton at home, I'm not plugging the one glove, by the way. Right? Honestly, right? I'm not. Alex McCarthy. Yeah, we got both, right? But Alex's handling that day was a joke.
Clean as a whistle.
Oh my God! Like there was whips, balls across the box and that sort of stuff. And then he obviously made that brilliant save against Fletcher at the end. But you know, it's goalkeeper. We're different. We don't saves are saves, right? But we look at other things, right? His handling was just so clean, just plucking things and that sort of stuff. So yeah, that just always stood out. Like there's been some like ridiculous Fabianski again. The 2 saves made at the end went unnoticed, but. It just stuck in my mind.
And he came out for a lot of crosses that day as well,
and he doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Good crosses as well, like proper. Tough whipped balls that he came out like really good starting position. Came out, took them clean as a whistle. Yeah, I was. I
was very impressed with him. From a goalkeeping technical point of view, it was terrific.
Yeah, boom. And then last one, the best young goalie you've ever trained with.
The best young goalie I've ever trained with. Freddie Woodman for his desire.
Yeah, nice.
Like I've never seen a kid so committed to being a top goalie.
Really?
And he was always so far ahead of his age group. Like when he was 16, he was like a 20-year-old. When he was 14, he was like an 18-year-old. Like technically unbelievable. Like worked so hard. Like Like he's so cocky as well, but not in a good way. I told you, he reminds me of you. He literally reminds me of you. I think you was like Freddie, not cocky in a bad way, but you was like Freddie when he was younger. It's really weird. Do you remember when I first signed? I was like, you remind me of that, because he's just like happy. He's good around the lads, like just banter, like happy and that. But then like when he trains, he's like full on. Yeah, and actually, I think he's done the right. Like he's gone alone, which is brilliant for him at Bournemouth. But like he actually. Whether it's right or wrong, like I hope you won't mind me saying, but I thought he was too engaged. Like I actually think he needed he
lived it too much.
He needed just to come away and find his own little path and his own little things, and then have that balance. And I think he's getting that. And he'll play in the Premier League. He's already played in there, but he'll play in the Premier League, top goalie. But I've got to mention this one kid, right? Ashley Maynard Brewer. When I left Newcastle, I got appendicitis, right? And I had a nightmare. So Cholton, my old club, they let me come in and train. Andy Marshall, top guy, top goalie coach, said, come in and train. That's fine. We'll help you get fit. And there's a young lad, Ashley Maynard Brewer, right? The Australian kid. He's 21. He's on loan at Ross County. I watched him play in this training, and he was saving everything. People were smashing it from 3 yards in the bottom corner. He's saving it, and I was literally thinking, this isn't. No, like I'm sorry, but like.
He's 21 years old.
Yeah, because Marshy was saying, wait till you see how good this kid is. We was doing like volleys and half volleys in the goalies. He was catching everything, like everything.
Nice.
And his hands were clean as a whistle. And then he's gone into these five-a-sides, right? And he's making saves. The lad's like, he's had concussion 3 times from the ball, from knees, just from flying out at people. And I was watching him going, well, he's just going to be the best goalie in the world. Like
simple.
Honestly, I was like, what? He was doing things. I was like, how have you done that? And the lads are just like, do you know when the lads are like, Ashley, for fuck's sake.
Come on, give us a friggin'...
Like, it was that good. It was honestly... And then Ben Amos at the other end, who was just incredible as well. But like, obviously Ben's got the experience, he's got the age. So like, but then you see Ash and his physique, and now he's playing games, so now he learns the game. So like, Ashley Maynard Brewer, like, he's not with the one glove or anything like that. So he's not a pope. I just literally looked at him going, he's not, honestly, he's not. If you want to, we can talk. But like, he's literally like... Do you know when you're just so in awe of, like, I watched him for about 2-3 weeks, and the worst thing about it is I was blowing out my arse every day. Like, I was doing body, I was like, oh my god, my body was wiped out from being ill, and then like I was watching him, and I was like, I think I'm done. Yeah, really? But just a proper goalie, like proper saves, like not manufactured.
I love it.
Just something inside him that was just beautiful, brilliant to watch.
Mate, this has been an absolute pleasure. Seriously, Rob Elliot. Like, honestly, he was genuinely saying, "Why do you want me on? Why?" Like, I knew it would be a banger, mate, and you delivered like you would not believe as well. So, guys, thank you, Rob.
It's been my pleasure.
Like, seriously, mate, what a guy.
Thanks, guys.
And we always finish every episode, right? I'll start it, then Tom, then you. But we look into.
Wait there, Fozzie. Can we just say we are on 98,000 something subscribers?
Yes.
So if you haven't subscribed,
please,
if it goes down, I'm going to be gutted.
Yeah, so. If we lose subscribers,
next week we're on 97,000.
Right, lads, we've only gone down to 95, so we're taking that as a success. Right, with David Seaman's coming on, we'll get to 100.
Oh, brilliant! I love it. So, which camera? This one here.
Down the lens.
So we have a little look in there, and we go up the Fozcast.
Up the Fozcast.
Up the Fozcast.
Wicked, mate.
Nice one. Very, very good. Well done.
Fucking banger, mate.
Was that right?